I feel like I'm fish right now.
You are.
I love fish, and I think you're fish too. Like, it does smell like fish sometimes. I'm proud. I'm proud of my fish scent. Welcome back to the Just Trish podcast. If you can't tell, I'm just giddy, beaming excitement with our next guest. Okay, you may know her from RuPaul season 15's Drag Race. She's currently touring superstar, music mogul, fashion icon, high fashion model, was recently at the Emmys. The one and only, I'm just no more introduction, Luxx Noir London.
Hi.
God, you look amazing. I'm gagged right now.
So do you.
I gagged him a bit in this dress.
For sure. No, literally, it's like spot on. Like, it's perfect. I might have to get it in pink now.
It's really cute in pink, right?
I love.
You said you have it in blue, too.
I have it in this color. This is the one I wore in Drag Race.
Love it.
And then I have it in like light blue because I wore it for a Christmas tour. So I was like, oh, just get this but like in blue.
It's so
Christmas.
cute.
And now I might have to get it in pink.
It's so like flattering, too. It like sucks you in all the right places. It's like a bodysuit. I went to your person. I literally went to who you tagged. Good job on tagging, by the way. Got the wig, got the outfit. So shout out Monique V and John Novotny.
Yes.
Was I saying right? They did the they did it. They did this whole thing, man.
It looks like stellar. Like your hair looks better than mine on the show.
No, your hair looks amazing. Oh, on the the photo shoot where you have it like whipping is like my favorite photo shoot of you.
And the reason why it wasn't like it's tightly curled on the show is because I didn't feel like recurling it. Oh. So all of the curls John actually curled it the way it was on Drag Race, and then by the time we shot that episode, all the curls had dropped because I took all the pins out.
Wait, why?
Like, I don't know. I think I wanted to try it on, so I was like, oh, let me take all of the pins out. And then all the curls fell by the time I had to wear it.
It looked great.
So I had to recurl it in my hotel room. It took me probably 3.5 hours to curl that way. Oh my God.
Do you do your own styling ever for your hair?
I can straighten hair.
I can.
And I can curl it sometimes, and I can wave hair.
Oh,
with a crimper thing.
That's better than me.
But I can't curl hair. I don't really style my own stuff.
You didn't style this one today. No. This looks amazing. I just love, even in my real life, I've just been wearing wigs lately to protect my own hair. It's just so nice. You can change it up. Protect your hair.
I love wigs. They're my favorite thing. Wigs and shoes are my favorite part of drag.
Oh, the shoes, are iconic. I couldn't wear cool shoes today because I'm literally have chunky feet. But
these ones are not as cool as I would like. They're really cute and they're really puss, but it's they don't really match the outfit because it's silver, but the outfit's all gold and red.
No, it's giving Vegas performer. It's definitely giving that. Your car service dropped you off, and they have a really long driveway, and they were I'm they're gonna make her walk up, but then you looked so fierce walking up. My photographer's literally I need to photograph this. So as you're walking up, you're giving
the
so
driver
much.
Was not able to get up the thing. She kept driving onto the curb, and I was I'll just get out. I don't want you to hurt your car. I don't want you to hurt this lady's house. I'll just get out and I'll walk. It's
fine. She had so much space. There was a lot of space there.
She was kind of frantic the whole time.
Okay, well I'm glad you made it up. You looked very fierce walking up. The fact that you walked up in heels, I was just oh my gosh, this is so iconic. Everything about this look is iconic. So I know this look from you, but you do recreations. Who is it? It's originally from RuPaul or no?
So there's a long lineage of who the look is for,
okay,
or who the look was from. It was for my Beyonce runway on Drag Race, but I decided to do a look that several people had worn before for some reason. Well, no, the real reason why I did this Beyonce look is because I didn't want to shittily recreate a Beyonce outfit and be dragged by the Beehive.
Yeah.
So I was let me choose a Beyonce look that I know I can get recreated perfectly, and I knew Monique V could do these types of outfits perfect. So I was let me just do this one, but it just so happens that Cher has worn this look, Tina Turner has worn this look, RuPaul has worn this look, Beyonce, and I guess I'm the fifth. There's another person who wore it, but I'm blanking on her name.
Okay, so you're the fifth in line.
Yeah.
I know it from you. I was ooh, Luxx is coming on. This is the outfit. This is how I think of you, your photos, all this stuff like that. I always think of you in this
look. A lot of people really like this one.
It's everything. And I feel because I haven't followed the drag world that long, or fashion, or I haven't followed Beyonce. So I didn't know. I just saw you and I was oh, this is gorge. I mean, I know it's for the Beyonce look, but it's kind of, who is the design? Is it Bob Mackie?
Bob Mackie, yeah.
Oh, and he's still alive, right?
Yeah.
He was on Drag Race. Was he on your season?
No. Well, kinda. He was the first ever guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, season 1, episode 1. And then they did a Bob Mackie tribute during my finale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so was he there for that? I feel like I
He
saw him.
was there.
But you didn't meet him.
No, I didn't meet him.
Oh my, it's expensive also to like get these outfits. I was just like, I've never gotten a custom made for anything. I usually wear Fashion Nova on the podcast, but I was like, you're coming on, I need custom. It's so expensive.
It's not cheap.
But also for the queens on Race, like Drag Race, it's like literally you have to get what? Like how many outfits did you have to bring with you?
I think I bought like 16 different outfits, all custom, new.
That's why we were talking before the difference between like now versus like the older seasons, because you're a super fan.
Yeah.
Which I'm a relatively like new fan to Drag Race, so I didn't know. We're rewatching the old episodes. And it's like now, especially you, but a lot of the queens come in so polished. Like you, like it literally looks like all stars like every season now. Do you think people have to spend a lot of money now to be on Drag Race?
Yes and no. If you're very resourceful, you can get it done for cheap. But I just think that the standard has gone up, just like in any industry. Like, things elevate. So it's like, now you kind of have to spend more to, you know, make it work. But back in the day, they were wearing, like, Wet Seal and, like, Charlotte Russe on, like, the main stage. Which now it's, like, that's, like, unfathomable.
It's crazy.
To be wearing something, like, unless it's, like, designer, like, off the rack.
Yeah, it's
like
actually insane. It's actually insane, like the difference between now and then, especially with the hair and just everything, the styling of it all. It's just like so much upkeep. And I saw in an interview, I think it was the Very Delta one you did because it was the most recent one I saw, that you found Drag Race through, you were young, like 10 or something when you found it through a YouTuber.
Yes.
And you said you wouldn't name him, which is fine. I think I know, but do I know?
You probably do. So basically, I was probably like 10 or 11 or like maybe even 9. But I had remembered watching Drag Race very early in my life. My aunt was a fan of Drag Race. So Aunt, do you say aunt or aunt?
I say aunt.
Okay.
What did you say, aunt?
I say aunt.
Yeah, I always said aunt, but I'm from the Midwest. I don't know. You're Jersey. Maybe it's different.
I think we say aunt there. I don't know. But
aunt's cuter. It's better than like aunt, like a little ant that you step on.
Yeah, I think that's like why I would always differentiate. Like, that's not my aunt. That's my aunt.
Yeah, aunt sounds cuter.
aunt. But yeah, I remember watching like the season 3 like episode 1 like casting special, and I was like, oh my god, what is this? I love it. And then like I told like my cousins about it, and they were like, no, that's like bad. Like you should not be watching that.
Really?
And I was like, okay, so I won't. And then I rediscovered it through that YouTuber because Willem made them over on her YouTube. On that person's YouTube channel.
I remember.
And I was like, oh my gosh, she's so funny. Because like I was like obsessed with that YouTuber. Like they were my fave. And then right. And then I was like, oh my god, like I like did like a Willem deep dive. And I was like, oh my god, like everything that I watched every episode of Nip Tuck that she did.
I didn't know she was on it.
Yeah.
How many episodes? Like a full season?
It was like a full like character arc. I think it was probably like 4 or 5 episodes.
Oh, I didn't
maybe
know.
More.
Wow. Was it probably before Drag Race? Because she was kind of like a thing before Drag Race.
It was before Drag Race.
Oh, wow.
And then that's how I figured out she was on Drag Race. And then I started watching Drag Race because of Willem.
Wow. That was my first introduction to drag too. We did an episode of like a Jackass together, and we were like on set, and I like never saw a drag queen before her. She was my first one. And I was like well older. I wasn't 10. I was like 20 something, and I had never seen a drag queen. And I just thought, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. And she got the speaking lines and all stuff like that. I had no idea. That's so funny. Willem is introducing everyone to drag.
Yeah, and I feel like especially around that time, she was like making over like everyone, like she was on like everybody's YouTube channel. So I was like, oh my god, well Willem is like so funny.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's why like the first season of Drag Race I watched was season 4 because she was on it.
Oh, okay. Because I remember I knew her before. I did like Willem's Beat Down and stuff like that, but I just didn't know her on the show or anything. And then she got kicked off the show. I think she's the only one that got kicked off, right?
She is technically she's the only contestant to be disqualified, I think. But she isn't the first person to be like, no, she is the first person to be disqualified.
Wow.
But she might be the only to be like technically like disqualified from the competition.
That's crazy. And was it literally just because she had like a conjugal visit or something? Is that why? Do you know? Super fan?
I feel like she's like talked about it. She had like a prior engagement, so like she was gonna like eliminate herself no matter what.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think the whole conjugal visit thing, I think she said that was like made up.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because I was like, it seems kind of silly, that whole thing. Because you guys stay in hotels during the show, right? Mm-hmm. So you came out. Are you still living in New Jersey?
Yeah, I still live in New Jersey.
And so you came out for this. How long are you guys shooting for?
A couple weeks.
Oh, wow, that goes pretty quick then.
Yeah, I think they film like I think it's like an episode like in 2 days.
Wow, that is crazy. So you saw, first time seeing drag was 10. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. And then right away, did you know, or like, I want to do this, or you're like, oh, I just admired it?
I just admired it, and then I think I saw like Naomi Smalls on season 8, and I was like, oh, I could do this.
Wow. Oh my, and then how did you even start? How do you like start the process?
You kind of just like do it. Like I got some makeup from like Marshall's.
Wow.
And because I was in college at the time. So when I like really started.
Okay.
So I was using like makeup from like the Marshalls like down the street. Like I would walk like on the highway to Marshalls to like go and buy makeup.
Wow, you were dedicated.
To go and buy makeup with like the money that like my parents were like giving me for like food.
Oh my God.
So it's like they were like, oh, here's like money to survive. And I was like, let me go like buy like some shitty expired makeup from Marshalls.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not gonna eat.
Yeah, I was like, I'll be fine. I'll make it work. And then I like just started doing my makeup, and I just started doing drag like in college.
Wow. And what did your parents are supportive, right? You said they were really supportive.
Yeah. But in the beginning, they were kind of like, okay, what is this?
Really?
Like in the beginning, they were like, no, like this is not it. Like you have to stop.
But
like,
were you were out obviously before or no?
Yeah, I think I came out my sophomore year of college.
Okay, so it was around the same time then that you're doing drag and...
They knew I was dabbling in like makeup and like cross-dressing. So I think they thought that I was like trans.
Interesting.
And they did not really feature that. And then I think they like discovered like that it was like drag, and then they were just like, why? Like this doesn't make sense.
That's so interesting because you think also too, because you're like a creative, because you went to college, you did like creative.
I did like musical. I was a musical theater major.
I didn't know you were musical theater.
I studied musical theater from 6th grade to senior year because I went to performing arts high school and middle school, and then I majored in musical theater in college, and I was in college for 5 years.
Oh my! I'm gonna cry. I did not know it was a musical theater. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Did you ever perform on like? Did you do music? Obviously, you did musicals.
Yeah.
Did you ever do Broadway or anything like that?
I'd consider it, but it would be like a limited engagement, kind of like a Jinx in Chicago thing.
She's there now. She's yeah.
Well, no, Jinx is going back in June,
okay,
June and July.
For like 20.
Marsha is going to be in Cabaret on Broadway. Yeah.
Do you know the role? Her role?
Victor or something like that.
Oh my!
It's like it's like a featured ensemble role, but she's understudying for the lead. Who is
Sally Bowles?
No, the guy. I mean the guy.
Who? The MC.
The MC. She's understudying for the MC.
Do you know who's playing that?
Oh, I forget his name, but he's like famous.
It's not Alan Cumming, is it? The original? Okay, because I was like, oh man.
He was like in a movie or something, and like
stunt casting, or is it Broadway actor?
I don't know.
Oh my!
I don't know who he is, but I know he's like kind of major.
No, but yeah, Victor is one of the girls where it's like where they like, when they're introducing all the people. Cabaret I haven't seen in a long time, but I did love the show. I saw it with Alan Cumming when he did the revival, and I just thought he's so great. He's my favorite person in the world right now.
Yeah, it's like really major that she's like on Broadway.
Has she announced it?
Yeah, it's announced. Okay. It's like a thing.
Wow. So Jinx and Marsha.
And Peppermint was on Broadway. She was in Head Over Heels.
Oh, I didn't know. In the U.S.?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't. I just watched her on Traders, and I was just like, oh my, you have to go. Would you do it?
I feel like I would want to like, I don't know if I'd want to audition. That's the only thing.
Just get offered.
I would like want an offer.
But I feel like people haven't heard you sing really. I don't think I've ever heard you sing, and I did a deep dive into you. I like
to keep like my musical theater side like kind of like hidden, because then people are like, oh, why don't you like sing at your shows? And I kind of hate hearing like drag queens like sing in a club, because the sound is like never good. Like people want to like, I get it's like express like your art and yourself, for like time and place.
It's giving me, I know. Sorry, I'm not gonna even mention it because I got in trouble for saying it, but there was a queen who did live vocals, and I was just like, when everyone else was lip syncing, I'm like, why would you do that? Even if you are a good singer, the whole show's like lip synced.
It's like time and place. I don't know. Like for like a situation like a talent show, if your talent is singing, like you should be like singing.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't think to like live sing like a pop song on Drag Race ever, because it's like, it's not as exciting to me as doing like an aria, or like standing and like delivering like a vocal performance rather than just singing.
Yeah, I should clarify. It's not. Is it Saphir? I say the name wrong.
Saphir Crystal.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful voice. Like I think that's. But there's some like I think it was on your season that did a live, and I was just like, and not to say they were bad, but I was just like, oh okay, and like whatever. But I always think But you are. I mean, you are a singer. I obviously know your music videos and stuff like that. But I never heard you sing like musical theater style. So that's why I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I like am like trained.
What shows have you been in?
In high school, I think I can like name them all. I think.
Please.
7th grade, I did Seussical.
Oh my gosh.
I was JoJo in Seussical. I was Theo and Pippin. My high school did The Color Purple.
Oh. Was it a musical back then?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was on. I didn't know when it was on Broadway. I didn't know
it was on Broadway once. Fantasia was Celie, and then
you're young.
Yeah,
you're like I forget. You're 24.
Yeah.
I'm like 35. So I was just like, oh my god, The Color Purple was on Broadway back. I'm thinking when I was okay, got it.
Yeah, The Color Purple was on Broadway.
Who'd you play?
Twice. I was like ensemble.
Really? Just ensemble?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then my sophomore year of high school, we did this musical called The Frogs by Stephen Sondheim.
Oh yeah.
It's very random and obscure.
I love it. You guys did that. Oh my gosh.
It was like so weird, but
it's iconic though.
We did it.
Wow.
I was ensemble. I had to play a frog.
Oh my god. Congrats, everything.
And then my junior year, we did The Wiz. I was ensemble.
How are you always ensemble? Like you literally are like a star. I don't understand.
I think it's because I didn't play like straight enough or masculine enough, and I looked really young. Like I didn't have like a growth spurt until I was like a senior in high school. That's when I started to like develop into a person.
Yeah.
I like to say I was like a tadpole from like freshman year to like senior year.
Wow.
I feel like I started to like become like an actual person like when I got to college.
You're late bloomer. That's okay.
Yeah, I looked like I mean I'm like grateful that I looked really young, but I looked like a child.
Oh, so you always I get that. You couldn't play anything.
Yeah.
You could have been like an Oliver or something like that.
Yeah, I was always like, please just do like a show with like a child who is the lead. Annie or something, and like never.
Yeah.
But I got a call back for The Scarecrow in The Wiz.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't get it because the person who got it was like taller and more masculine, but it's fine because look at me and look at them.
Yeah, I know. Now you're like
some people peak in high school.
That's so true, and I don't think I want to be that person. Yeah, because now you're not like you're telling me all the stuff you have coming up in the next couple weeks. You're like thriving right now. Like you're on this full on press tour, all stuff like that. If you did Broadway, would you want to play in drag or would you want to be like mask?
It depends on the role.
Yeah.
I'm never really like mask. So
I think like, you could be.
I don't think so.
I saw your V-Day picture with your boo and I was just like, okay, like so cute.
I don't know if I could be like masculine. Like I could try, but like it girl with this voice. Like you can't really.
Right.
But like I would love to do like I know Kinky Boots like the back of my hand.
Oh
so
my
it's
gosh.
like I know all the songs.
So
good.
It's
like I feel like I would love to be like Lola and Kinky Boots or like Angel and Rent or like Joseph and like Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I would like love to play like a role like that.
Okay, first of all, I don't think I've
Even
ever heard
Joseph is like not like feminine, but he could be.
Oh, Joseph's femme, and Joseph is my favorite musical ever. And
really?
Like no one knows. I had Donny Osmond on like my 6th episode of this podcast, and it was like my dream guest, done and done. He's my everything. That show is my everything. I was in it like 6 times as the kids ensemble, but
I was never in it, but like I know of Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
That would be so
My boyfriend
iconic.
was in it. I think like twice.
Who was he?
He wasn't Joseph.
Like
I think
the Pharaoh or...
I don't know.
Oh my God.
But I know he was in it. And he always talks about at the end of the show, there's like this like mega mix.
Yeah, where they all come out at the end and do like, yeah.
And he's like, it's like the hardest thing ever or something like that. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah. And
you would be great in Joseph. Now that I see that, I'm like, that's what you need to do for sure.
I would love to do Broadway, I think.
Okay, it's putting it out there. But just like limited, you said, like a 3-month run.
Like a limited run. I don't want to be there for years and years. I hate doing the same thing over and over again.
Really? So like you don't like a routine, you like to be, because you've been doing this for a while, you're touring.
Yeah, and I hated it.
Oh, really? Why?
I kind of hated doing like, I only did the Christmas tour for probably like a month and a half, probably like 6 weeks.
That's a long time.
And I was doing the same number like every night.
Oh, yeah.
Like 6 nights a week. So it's like wearing the same thing, doing the same thing, hearing the same song. It's like, I like need to like switch it up.
Right. Yeah.
I get so like stuck.
So you always do like a different, because you performed last night at Heart. So was that a whole new show, or was that from the winter tour?
No, that was a whole new show.
It was
those
really
were
good.
like, I've done those numbers before, but I like wore different outfits for them.
Oh
so it's like, as long as I'm mixing it up a little bit, like
live performance, I just watched on your story last night, is just, I was like mesmerized. Like the way, it's actually amazing. I don't think the show showcased your live performance enough.
No, they did. I just think that now I'm a better live performer than I was on the show.
Really? You think you've gotten better since that? Because it's only been, what, a couple years?
I think it's been like probably 2 years or a year and a half since we filmed. And I just feel like I like know my body better and I'm more comfortable like in my shell. So it's like now I kind of know what like works.
Yeah.
And like seeing yourself on TV and kind of having everybody say that you shouldn't have won a single lip sync. Oh, that you done it your season.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, people did not like my lip syncs.
Oh, I thought your lip syncs were so good.
The one with me and Selena, people said I was boring and that I was crazy that I thought I won. And then the one with the right stuff, they were like, Luxx should have been in the bottom. And then the one with Lucy, they were like, Luxx is like doing too much. Like she was like dancing with like a chicken cut off. Like
well,
a
you
chicken.
won.
But I won it. It got me to the final
Top four.
four.
Yeah, so obviously they don't know. I know. They
Right.
they say Drag Race fans are the most like cutthroat. Like I think it was Katya I saw the other day. She was talking about how the RuPaul fans are just like insane, or the Drag Race fans are another level.
Some of them can be really horrible.
Yeah.
Because they're like all like really like opinionated with no like base on their opinions. It's
Right.
just like, oh, I've watched Drag Race, so I like know like how all of this works.
Isn't that, yeah?
It's like, I don't think that there's this, like, you have people in, like, the Real Housewives, like, committing, like, actual crimes, like,
Literally.
going to prison, and they, like, don't, like, they're just like, oh, whatever, like, she, like, committed, like, tax evasion, it's funny.
Right.
But it's like, I, like, tell somebody that, like, I think they're basic, and, like, now I need to go and, like, kill myself.
Generic.
It's like, what? Like.
But you know what I loved about you on the show, and like just watching, now I'm like kind of getting up on all the Drag Races, is like your like villain arc was cute. It was never like mean, and it was always truthful.
Yeah.
Generic isn't like an insult, it's, you know, especially when they ask for your opinion. I can't stand when people don't give their opinions. You know what I mean? And I think you did it really classy. I think, you know, you were honest.
I think that saying someone deserves to go home because they're big competition is a cop-out.
Yeah.
And also it doesn't make sense, because why do I deserve to be eliminated because I'm good?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me either. It is a cop-out.
Because the question wasn't who should go home, it was who deserves to go home.
Right.
If I said who should go home, I would have said, oh, send Sasha home because she's the biggest competition here and she's won the most challenges. But no, I said the person I thought deserved to go home. It was hard though, because we were all doing really good.
Yeah.
But if I was thinking more logically now, like more from like I didn't want to go up based off track record, because
Who's been in the bottom?
Who could be like in the bottom or the top, because
Yeah.
I don't think that really defines like what America's Next Drag Superstar is, and that's what the show is looking for. It's like, even if I want to win, but I also want the person who would potentially beat me to be like a good representation of the title.
Yeah.
And while I do think that Lucy would have represented it well, I think that out of everybody who was on the lineup, I think that everybody, I'm repeating what I said, I just think that everybody brought something a little like different, or a little more like,
I feel you.
like it had like a little something else there. Like, I think she's amazing. Like, me and Lucy got along like really well on the show. Like, we were friends. We're still friends to this day.
Okay,
I
shout
think
out
she's
Lucy
amazing.
DeLuca.
Shout out to Lucy. I love you, girl. She's my drag daughter.
Okay,
She's not my drag daughter, but we were like in a club once, and I was like with my drag daughters, and she was like, oh, like I was like, oh, I'd never had like a drag family. And I was like, oh, well, you're my daughter now.
Oh my God, I love that.
So Lucy is the honorary member of the House of Luxx.
I love that. How many do you have?
I have 2 daughters, Lana Jarre and Venus Mystique.
Cute. Okay, I don't even know this. I don't know if this is like such a dumb question, but like, where do people come up with their names? Did you come up with them, or they came up with their names?
They came up with their names. They were already like people before I I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to put you in drag and you're going to be my child.
Oh, okay.
Like, I knew of Lana from Instagram.
Yeah.
And like I followed her and she followed me and she was a big fan of mine.
Okay.
And I was like, always like, oh, I remember telling my boyfriend Thomas, I was like, if I ever have a drag daughter, I think it's going to be her.
Oh my gosh.
And like, it was just like, okay, whatever. And then she competed in a competition in Brooklyn that I had won the year prior. So I was like judging the competition. And when she walked out on stage, like the first time, it was kind of like a,
Wow.
like I looked at her and I was like, that's me.
Wow.
I was like, that's not like that's me, like she's stealing my swag, but
Right.
like I was like, I like see like so much of myself in her.
The it factor.
I was like, I feel like I could nurture and like not mold her, but like kind of, I saw a piece of like clay, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I could really like help this person in like so many ways. So they ended up not winning. But they were like the runner up.
That's good.
So that's so good. And I like walked up to them after and I was like, you did like so amazing. Like, and I was like, you're like my daughter now. So I was like, if you ever need anything, let me know. And then I like DM'd her and I was like, this is my number, like text me or whatever. And ever since then, she's been my drag daughter.
Oh my God, so cute. So do you like, what does that entail as the mother? What do you do?
I kind of just like give advice and like I'm kind of just like it's like drag family is kind of just like a best friend kind of. But
I never know what it means on the show.
Like, there's like a title where it's like, I guess like a title, I guess, where it's like I'm like her mother because I like give like maternal advice, but in like from like a drag perspective or like a nightlife perspective.
Just because you've been doing it for a while, but you're so young. So you started in college. I mean, really, how long have you been doing drag? Just a few years?
Like 5 years max, I think.
Wow. So you started at 19. That's wild. And you're one of the youngest on the shows, right?
I was the youngest on my season.
How old were you when you filmed? 21?
22.
Wow.
And I think second youngest was Sugar, Spice, and surprisingly, Mistress.
Why did you say surprisingly?
Because she, not that she looks old, but she kind of just has like an older like vibe.
Yeah.
So when I saw Mistress, I was like, oh, she's at least 35.
Yeah.
And then when she was like we were all like saying our ages, she was like, I'm 23. And I was like, bitch, no the you're not. Like, I was like, you're not 23.
Do you like, what year were you born?
And she was like, she's 23, but she's like, however old, like, I think like 25 now.
Okay, so you were the youngest on the show, then Sugar and Spice. So they're like the same age, Mistress and Sugar and Spice. Because she did Rosie O'Donnell for Snatch Game, so you have to like assume she'd be like a millennial like me. It's like, who knows Rosie? You know what I mean? Although you did Amanda Lepore, which is also a very old reference. So I was just like, oh, okay.
I love Amanda Lepore.
Which is, I guess this is why I love you, because I feel like we're so like in this way where I just like love pop culture and celebrity.
Same.
And I know you like you hyperfixate on people, and I'm the same way. So the fact that you know Amanda Lepore, which is even before my time, like I was born in 88, and I feel like club kids were like in the 80s, like that time. Like, how do you even know of her?
The internet.
How did you see her? Where did you see her?
I don't even remember.
First time seeing. I saw David LaChapelle shoot her, and I was like, who's this?
It is my dream to have David LaChapelle shoot me. Not like shoot me,
right.
but like
shoot you,
photograph me. I like want to, like that is like a bucket list goal of mine, is to have a David LaChapelle photo shoot.
I wonder if he still shooting people.
He is.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
He did a music video I was in called Tears Dry on Their Own with Amy Winehouse. He was the director, and he hates sequins. I had a sequins corset on, and I was 18, and he's like, you have to take it off. And I was like, no, my belly. He's like, take it off. And I was like, okay. And it was whatever. He is iconic, Pam. But he did Amanda Lepore, I think with Pam maybe, and I was just like, oh, I'm like,
he's done Amanda Lepore a bunch of times, but I don't even remember the first time I saw who Amanda Lepore was. I don't remember. It might have been like, I went through a phase in my life where I was obsessed with plastic surgery. And I'm sure she's come up with that conversation because at the time she was like the most expensive like body in the world.
Crazy. I wish I knew her surgeon. I'd go there because I don't think everyone looks that way when they go through plastic surgery.
No, she looks like that in person.
You've
like,
seen her in person?
I've like met her before.
Where?
In New York, like at a club.
No way.
Yeah.
She's still like at the clubs?
Oh yeah. She like works at the clubs.
No way. Performing?
No, I mean she'll perform like sometimes, but it's mostly just like hosting. Like when you're hosting, you're kind of just like there.
Yeah, she's just like the name.
Yeah, you're just like a body like in the room.
Wow.
But yeah, full geesh, rhinestone head to toe, hair coiffed, lips huge, like waist tiny, like
gorge, just stunning.
I've like touched her waist before, like.
Oh, is it smaller than yours?
Oh yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yours is what, like 18 inches?
I can get down to 19. I have a 19-inch corset.
That's what Keira Knightley was during Pirates of the Caribbean. She was 19-inch waist, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, okay, tiny, like
my
just
God.
not. That's
it's
crazy.
Like I wore a 20-inch corset on Drag Race for like one of my looks, and I remember I was like, can I please walk first?
Oh.
I was like, can I like,
I'm gonna pass out.
I was like, can I walk first, please? Like, you have to let me walk first. Like, I'm going to die.
Which runway was that?
The hairball. Like the black one.
Yeah. You looked I mean, all your outfits were so good. The one where you had you make your own, the zebra pants. I'm like, we were just saying how difficult it is now to be, especially this new season, you have to make all your outfits. And I was like on the spot. And I was like, what if someone just doesn't sew? Like, you're just screwed.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So as a queen, you have to know how to sew, do your costume, hair, and makeup.
I don't even think it's a thing of knowing how to sew. I think it's a thing of like being resourceful. I feel like RuPaul has said that the sewing challenges and like the design challenges kind of shows like how quick someone is on their feet.
Right.
Because you kind of just have to like have like, you kind of just got to think for something and go for it.
Right.
You don't really have time to like sit there and like come up with a bunch of different ideas. Unless you're me, where you can design 2 outfits in one day.
It was amazing. And you sewed. You weren't like gluing together.
No,
you were like sewing.
I sewed it. Like there was like hems, like everything was like tailored. Like it was really good.
That was the best. I loved when you won that one because I was just like, yeah, you really did. You just know right away when someone's gonna win. You're like, okay, obviously you have. This one.
Once I made the pants and I knew that the pants fit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I won.
Yeah.
Because I was like looking around the room. I was like walking around because I was done really early. I made that look in probably like 3 hours max.
How much time did you guys have?
Like a day and a half.
Wow. So you're just like there with your outfit and you're like, okay.
It was to the point where I was kind of just like walking around like, what can I add to it?
Wow.
Like I was walking around like the workroom like showing off the outfit. I was like, oh my God, this looks so major. Like they didn't put it in, but I was like, oh, like, I bet none of you want to like challenge me to like a walk off right now because I like killed the competition. Everybody's like working and like slaving over. I think that's when the girls were like, oh, I hate this bitch. But
really? Because I feel like also you're like Miss Congeniality. We're just saying how you like don't have drama with anyone. I feel like you're friends with all of them. You're not drama with any of them.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. And at the Emmys, you guys all went. Lucy wasn't there.
No.
And again, me and Lucy had like a little beef a couple months ago, but I swear I like love her. I just feel like I was hard on her for no reason, whatever. But she wasn't there.
Lucy and Mistress did DragCon in the UK the weekend before.
I saw your Twitter exchange with Mistress, who's like, I was at London DragCon, and you're like, so was I, and I made it.
Yeah, I mean, true. But yeah, they just wanted to stay in the UK and do DragCon because it was a lot of work to like do both, and I feel like I should have ultimately chosen one or the other, which would have been the Emmys. But
why did you think you should choose one over the other?
The process of getting everything to the UK for DragCon for one day, it was like no real payoff. Like I made some money, but it's like the hassle of doing all of that work just for one day to fly back. Like
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And did you perform? You didn't perform in London?
No.
So just the DragCon?
Yeah, I was there for probably a couple of days before DragCon, so my boyfriend never been, so we were doing like all the touristy stuff.
Oh,
we
cute.
went to see Matilda in the West End.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, he was like, I want to go see Matilda so bad. And I was like, I don't.
Did
really
you love
wanna.
it?
I ended up really enjoying it, but like when he like was like, oh, I'm gonna like buy his tickets to see Matilda. I was like, why Matilda?
I kind of live for Matilda though. I think it's like such a serve. I think Back to the Future was over there, or no, I think they're over here in the U.S. now, but they were over there at the West. Oh my God! So you went. So he also has musical theater, so he can appreciate it too. I love that.
Theater was like so old. Like they don't renovate anything over there.
But I kind of love that, don't you? Like the oldness.
Well, I loved it until one of the patrons like went up to one of the ushers. They were like, "There's like mice like running around."
Oh no! Are you scared of mice?
And I'm terrified of rodents.
Really?
Yeah.
Sometimes we have a couple mice running around.
There's been like a mice like a mice. There's been like a mouse like in my bedroom once, and I had to like go sleep on the couch downstairs.
What'd you do?
I left the room.
But did you call somebody to get it, or you just were like?
No, I was just like, it's gonna like do it at once, and I'm gonna leave before it like eats me.
Okay, but did you ever go back in the room? Or you just did back.
I did like the next day, but I was like terrified.
Oh man! And your boyfriend just wasn't gonna do anything about it.
We don't live together. I live with my parents still, actually.
What? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, because I don't like want to like pay rent.
I love that. Well, drag is expensive. Seriously, this one outfit, I was like, I can't afford any other outfits. This is crazy.
So like
expensive.
I live in like my parents' like attic, but it's like I have my bedroom and then like there's like another room where I keep like all my drag and like I get ready and all that.
So the mice can't get the drag
No.
costumes. Okay, because if they eat, sometimes like we get it because we live in a mountain. So I'm like, if they eat any of my shoes, it can be like over.
I haven't noticed any mice eating any of my stuff.
I don't mind mice nowadays. I'm like, oh, we try to like let them go, but you know.
I've been trying to like there'll be like sometimes where I'll like hear like a rustle or something, and I'm like, oh my God, the mouse is here. And
it's in the attic too.
I'll just be like, she's back, but like it's cold, so it's like they're gonna come indoors.
Yeah. You have to feel sorry for them. You're like, they just want warmth.
Yeah, but then I'm like, okay, they're kind of harmless, but then it's like, I just get so like, I hate them.
I get it. I'm like that too. Like I don't like to hear them. When I hear them in the thing, I'm like, you have to get that out right now. One time he just leaves them. He catches them and leaves them in a bag sometimes.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, and I go off the door and I see the mouse and I'm like, can you take the mouse outside? Like don't leave it in the house.
Yeah, that is like, I hate rodents.
Yeah, they're a lot. Hate's a strong word, but
I used to be like, I am like squirrels. I do not like squirrels.
wait, why squirrels are so cute?
I think it's because I think I'm like kind of traumatized because one morning I was like late for school because there was a squirrel and it seemed like rabid. It was like outside of my door and like I felt like it was like cornering me, like I could not leave.
What happened? Was it like salivating? What did it do?
I don't remember, but I just remember the squirrel was the reason why I couldn't leave my house.
Trust your intuition for sure on that.
Honestly.
Because I do think there is some scariness to it, but at the same time, I feel like they're pretty harmless. I think it's more the groundhogs you have to be careful of. I feel like those are the ones that like dig the holes and can get up in you and stuff.
I think I'm like easing up on it though because I just recently was like, oh, I think I would like want like a what did I say? A raccoon.
A pet raccoon?
I was like, I kind of want like a pet raccoon.
I think those are really vicious. I've seen them on like TikTok where they like attack people and stuff and try to get in your house.
Like they're horrible, but I think that they're kind of cute sometimes.
They're cute if it's like Pocahontas with like Nico or something, you know what I mean? I think that's like a vibe. Back to the Emmys and the drama though. So it's like, okay, so that happened. You're cool with all the queens there.
Yeah.
Okay, the two that didn't come, Mistress and Lucy, that was because they were in London.
Anitra didn't come. I don't remember why, but she wasn't there either.
Sugar and Spice left midway. Was there any drama with that? Because I had them on, but it was before the Emmys, so I didn't know.
I don't think so.
They're just like,
I
we're done.
don't think anyone really like noticed or like really like cared
that they were gone, because there was like looks on the red carpet. I feel like everybody was, I don't know if it was just because everybody wanted to look good, but I feel like there was definitely looks between people.
I was a little pissed because
tell me.
I was a little pissed because I just wanted like a picture by myself on the red carpet.
You're like, let me just have my moment.
I was fine for the group picture. Like I have no problem being in a group picture with the girls. But I was like, I'm wearing like I'm like off the runway Versace. Like I need a picture.
Was it 95 Versace?
It was 2007 spring summer.
Oh, okay, so it was like, oh God,
it was like it was like my favorite, like 2000s Versace, like, oh my God, like more than Mugler, like I feel like I'm transitioning into like a 2000s Versace girl.
Oh, that's it. I mean, the Kardashians, I feel like whole wedding was early 2000s Versace. Or that was Dolce. But yeah, I feel like that was, how did you get it?
A stylist.
Wow. Was anyone else in vintage couture?
No, Sasha was in like, I think custom Kristen Siriano.
Oh, okay.
But I was the only one in like vintage.
Because you're the supermodel of the group. They're like, we'll give it to Luxx because she's going to make it look good. You're probably the only one who could like fit into them because back then those girls were your size.
Tiny.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they still are. I don't know. But
I feel I was just at like a couple like fashion week things and
they're just tinier than ever.
The models are thin again.
The skinny is in. And I'm not bad at it. I love, when you're talking about drag daughters, I was like, I love, like, Mistress. I obviously saw myself in Mistress the most. I was like, okay, this would be my drag for sure. But I love when I see girls like you because I'm just like, oh, that's what I want to be. You know, you're the fantasy. And I feel like that's what I love. So I'm going to post the thin is in. I mean, as long as everyone's, like, healthy and eating and...
Yeah, I think that all body types should be celebrated.
Yeah, I feel like, but the skinny is making a comeback.
It's making a comeback in like a big way. Like,
the Ozempic of it all.
Oh, the girls are thin, waif thin.
It's crazy, and even the ones that were big are getting so small now. I was like, oh my gosh, not the time to be pregnant. I'll tell you that. I'm just like, gosh, you feel like a big cow.
I like. First of all, congratulations. I feel like I didn't tell you congrats,
but
like that's like major.
Thank you.
Like I'm obsessed that like. Also, it's like another like major event might happen that aligns with your pregnancy with like the royal family.
Oh my gosh. Let's hope not. I'm hoping he stays alive.
I hope not, but like also he's like kind of like a horrible person, I think.
Well, some people said that, so I guess I could understand that. The Diana fans definitely are like, you got it coming.
I like to say that I'm like America's Princess Diana.
Oh my God, yes, you really are. Like America's sweetheart too.
Because she's like controversial, like people don't really like her sometimes. Like,
Diana?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't know the tea of all this.
I just think that she's a very like polarizing, controversial figure.
Yeah.
And I like to say that I'm like the reincarnation of Princess Diana. Ooh. I know she died like years before I was born, but
it's the soul could still, I feel like souls kind of can drift for a little while, a couple of years maybe.
Sometimes I really like feel like her.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know why, but sometimes I'm just like, I am Princess Diana.
That is interesting. Is it just Princess Diana or anyone else?
No, I think it's just Princess Diana.
So you really have the feeling, because I feel that way too. I think I'm the reincarnation of Anna Nicole. She died when I was older though.
I could see that.
Yeah, but she was still alive when I was born, so true. I don't know. But you never know. I always think it could be like soul reversal or something.
I always saw like so many like not so many similarities between you and Anna Nicole Smith.
We were down the same path.
I could see like your admiration for her,
Love her.
and like so many things that like you've done, and like I like love that.
That's what I love. That's what I love so much about you and your drag and your art and all that stuff is like the references you make. I just think it's so good. Even your last music video, I feel like it had so many references. It was kind of like androgynous a little bit like Grace Jones. And I was just like, I just love that you have so many references to so many things in it.
I'm a really big believer in giving people their like credit while they're still here to see it, even if they don't see it, even if they can feel it like intrinsically. I like to, it's impossible to say that you are not inspired by people because even your thoughts are inspired by something. Everything in life comes from inspiration. Yeah. So it's like, I think for me to like say that I'm not inspired, to kind of like blow smoke over the fact that I'm very clearly inspired by RuPaul or very clearly inspired by Lady Gaga would be like a slap in the face to like their like art and their work and their legacy, you know?
Yeah. And I think there's some people who like think it's like would be like, oh, that's like don't come for my style. Who is it? There's certain people that like don't like it when people come for it, but I think there's so many people that can appreciate it too. You know what I mean? Like me dressed as you today, like you appreciate it, but some people, which is crazy because I was like, I went to the exact dress person, same hair person, and I'm like, oh, I told them I make sure it was okay with you, and you're just like, I love it, but some people would not. You know, they're like,
I was obsessed. Okay. I like love stuff like that
because I think it's just so fun. I love emulating people, and like you said, the people who like inspire you. I think it's such a big thing to give them props. Do you think that's why Ru like favored you on the show? Like he notoriously doesn't remember like queens' names in general. Like he was a Jinx, I think recently. He's like, this one over here. And I was like, oh my God, I don't even watch Drag Race and I know Jinx one soon. You know what I mean? So it's like, do you think that's why he maybe favored you more because you were so vocal about your admiration for him in the show?
I think it could be that, but also I just think that she probably just saw, I call her she.
What are you supposed to say? I'm having a Jimmy Fallon moment here.
No, she does not care. I know for a fact that like she doesn't care. Okay. But I just say she because like I call everybody she.
I would think like in drag she, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but then out of drag.
But also like out of drag, I still call everybody she.
She, okay. Like like Moses would be she or just drag queens?
No, like Moses would be he.
Oh,
like
okay.
I would say, oh, he was nice. But like if I'm like talking to like people, I would just like, oh yeah, she was. Like she's this, she's that.
I want a they them kick just for everybody because I just don't want to misgender anyone, and then people get offended if you say they. I'm just like, well, I just say them in general. I just think it's easier.
It is easier, and I like to not gender people, but like. Yeah. Especially like with like queer people, it's like I'm just like, oh, she.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
It's like that, like this bear would be she, like, oh, she's cute.
She. How do you determine the she's of it all?
She's cute. Like it's like she is kind of like it. Like oh, this wallpaper, like she's fab.
Okay, because it's like giving femme vibes.
Well, no, it's like she is just kind of like, well, no,
I don't want to get in trouble with anything.
No, you're fine, trust me. But I feel like she is kind of just like, it's kind of like bro. You know how like straight people will call like girls bro, like guys bro. Okay, like so for gay people or like queer people, like she is kind of like bro.
Okay, do you consider yourself? Because I heard it was on Delta too that you said queerness is like everywhere and it's like making a comeback, which I think is like you're right, like the Harry Styles you mentioned with the skirt and stuff like that. What is, and again, like what would you consider yourself, queer or gay?
I would consider myself gay.
Okay.
But also like gender wise, like I'm definitely like gender queer.
Okay, queer. And can you just like give an explanation? Because like I consider myself queer. Now that I know it, but I just didn't know the term. Like it was something different when I was growing up. So I just like when you were talking about queer culture, I was like, what do you define as queer? Or who would you define as queer? Or like what would it be if someone's like, maybe that's me? I
think that like in terms of like gender queer, I feel like I see it as kind of just like you don't really fit the norms of like gender stereotype. Okay. It's like I don't see myself as a man. I don't see myself as a woman. I kind of just see myself as like a person. But I guess I have masculine attributes and feminine attributes, whatever those like the lines. But everything is so like blurred.
It's also like, blurred, isn't it?
So it's like I kind of just like to like not put a label on anything, like I just go by like gender queer.
That's what I like too. I like that's why I like got more into it when I started hearing more. There's more labels and stuff out there. It's like, oh, it just makes more sense because I did get in trouble years ago for talking about being trans because I just didn't know. I was like, well, I don't feel like a woman. I don't feel like a guy. What's masc? What's feminine? To me, I thought, oh, feminine means you play with Barbies, and then everyone's like, no, that's not feminine. Or masculine means I'm in like this masculine energy. You know what I mean? Right. I like whatever. I like guys, whatever. So it's very. I don't know. I just like the openness of queer. I think that's a good word.
I think that queer is a great umbrella term for a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think that in a way everyone is queer.
I think that too. Spectrums.
It's like everything is like a spectrum. I don't think that anyone leans like completely one way.
I agree.
Or completely the other. It's really, well, kind of, I think that there are some people who, no. I don't think anybody is directly like solely masculine or solely feminine.
I agree.
Because there are things in society that I consider feminine that men do, but since they're a man doing it, it's masculine. But it's like, well, women do it too. So it's like,
I agree with
like
that.
grooming. It's like,
yeah.
it's like sometimes like if a guy is wearing a wig out of like if a guy is wearing a wig on their daily because they're like bald or whatever, they're a man wearing a wig. It's masculine. It's a man wig.
Right.
But women wear wigs too.
Right.
So it's like, are you really masculine? Or is it like, it's like when men wear like when they were like trying to promote like man makeup.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not.
You're wearing makeup.
It's not masculine because you say, oh, it's a man makeup.
Or a man purse.
Or like a man purse, like bitch is a purse.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I do hate it all, like the gender of it all. I really dislike that. And I love that people talk about it more. And I love that you're so open and talking about it because I was confused for so long, all the way up until like, I was like, I'm still, still, it's not even confused is the right word, but I'm just like, what am I? I don't feel, like I always considered, like before I even knew what drag was, I considered like what I did is drag. Like I love the character, the performance.
I mean, it is drag.
Yeah. And then when I started realizing the drag world, I was like, oh my God, this is what I like, is like the fantasy, the costume, the performance of it all. It's just like, so, I don't know. It's like my hyper femme persona was always just a persona. It's not like who I am in like real life, you know?
Yeah. I feel like even like men sometimes are in drag because they're presenting a hyper masculine version of themselves. There's a lot of men who like to turn it on because it's like, oh, I have to be more masculine. Yeah. Where it's like a lot of women, I feel like, turn it on because they feel like they have to be more feminine.
Right.
It's like, everything is like a sliding scale for me.
I think that's where a lot of like the homophobic and the transphobic comes in, is like those people feel like they have to be a certain way and that may not be their true selves. So they just like lash out. I've seen it in real life. People who can't come out as gay or whatever, even like people I know in my real life, they lash out in like a homophobic way or something because they can't truly like be themselves, or at least be a little bit of something, like you said, a little bit femme is like, oh no, I can't be that. And
I think we're getting to a place where it's more acceptable, but I feel like if everybody kind of just came to terms with the fact that everything is not so binary, then I think a lot of people would be happier.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. I think, like you said, I think we're getting there in a way. I think it's good. Like you said, the way like Harry Styles wears skirts and stuff, it's just like making it okay for people to express themselves in ways that may not be traditionally accepted in the past. Yeah. But okay, back to Rue. She. So you thought she maybe favored you because...
I just think she probably just saw a lot of herself in me, because she was like obsessed with like her and Michelle were, well, all the judges really, but it was always Rue and Michelle. They were really perplexed by me. They were very like, we don't get you. Not in like a negative way, but they're like, we know where you come from. We know like we know like the challenges that have been presented to you in the world. We don't know how you know all of this or how you are like who you are. It's like Rue would say that it was like given to me by like a higher, like it was like a higher power.
Interesting.
Like it was like sometimes like when she talks to me, she just like the way both of them would look at me, they'd just be like, we don't know how.
I don't understand.
They were like, we don't know how you are this way.
Really?
In like the best way possible.
Yeah, because you are like this old soul. You have so much knowledge. Like all the references you're making from musical theater to like the drag race of it all. Like you're just it is so smart. And someone at that age at 21, you're just like, where did this come from? And it's like, it is, yeah, you are like a conundrum in that way. Because you have such a young, youthful spirit. You're also very polarizing because you are so confident, but also just like so sweet. So I feel like that's probably why they're just like, this is like, who is this person?
They were always like, you're so gay. Like they would tell me this every time. They were like, you are probably like the gayest person like I've ever seen.
On
Like
Drag Race?
Yeah, they were just like the way you walk down the runway is so gay in the best way possible.
It's giving fashion model to me. It's giving
they
high
were
fashion.
Like, it's no, like they were
it's
like
giving fashion.
It's giving fashion.
We gotta do that TikTok after.
We have to.
I love it so much. Oh my God. That's this big sound on TikTok right now. I was like looking, I was like, oh my God, a lot of people use this sound. Okay.
Really? I didn't even know.
Oh, it's everything.
But yeah, they were just like, you are so like, the way you like float down the runway, it's like, you can tell that like you love yourself. And I was like, yeah, bitch, I spent a lot of money on this shit. I know it looks.
I love that. So where does the confidence come from? Did you always have it? Or?
No.
Okay.
My parents kind of forced me to be a little confident because I was getting like teased and stuff in school. And they'd just be like, oh, it's not you, it's them. They were like, oh, like they're jealous of you because you're so amazing.
Wow.
And then like Lady Gaga was a really big part of that because like Lady Gaga came into my life in a turning point where I like really needed to kind of see that someone saw like my differences because it got to a point where there was like a point in time where I don't want to say the support from my parents because they're going to watch this and they're going to be like, why would you say that? That never happened. But, you know, everybody's story is a little different.
Yeah.
But there was a time where it got a little less accepting. And I think it's because I was getting older and I was going to be in society and they know how cruel society is to like queer people. So they were kind of just like, you gotta stop.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, like you're doing a lot. And then like Lady Gaga kind of came into my life where I was just like, no, like you are like perfect the way you are. Oh. And then I was like, oh, I really needed to like hear this.
Wow. Have you ever met her?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I need to though.
Yeah, that feels like a spirit connection right there.
I know she knows who I am and she's seen me perform.
How do you know?
Because her manager, has seen me perform and he's like sent her videos and he told me, he was like, every time I like send her a video performing, she's like emotional.
Oh my God.
Because she sees how much like all of this like means to you and all this. And like she like sees how much like what she has done has impacted you.
Oh my gosh.
And like it's just like the wild
in so many ways, because I mean at performance you could see the Gaga impact, but also just like your personal life, the fact that like that's why you didn't tone it down, that's why you just stayed true to yourself. Like it's pretty major to have like a person you don't know, you know, like or doesn't know you like that, you know, change your life in that way. It's like,
even if he was lying, I don't think he is, but like
yeah.
him telling me that I went home and I cried.
Yeah, I don't think he would lie about that.
I cried. I was like, I can't believe it. Like in my head, like that's what I believe. So like that's what keeps me going.
But I don't think he would lie, and I don't know Gaga like that. Like I just don't know her in that. Like, but what I do know of her is she always is outspoken for the community, and she's always been like that ally and just wonderful. And I'm sure that's real. And and like you said, I think just like having that, even just hearing her music or whatever, that you're like, oh, this is okay to be this way. You know, that enough is something. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh my God, so Gaga, because also your look in the interviews, I felt like was kind of Gaga inspired. The hat, the pink hat, which I love. The pink final outfit was everything.
Thank you.
I didn't realize until literally that you guys never changed outfits. Like I literally was just like, oh, they always keep the same one. So it's just like one day of filming?
No, it's filmed in like a bunch of days.
Oh, they just have you wear the same thing? That's so weird. I wonder why. Continuity, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, interesting. Okay, so then you were doing music. You did music after. Were you doing it before? Obviously musical theater, but your music videos.
I had like an EP and like a couple other like small projects like before I got on Drag Race. So I've been doing music since probably like 2021.
Wow. And you produce it yourself or you work with a producer?
I write the lyrics, but I work with a producer.
Wow.
I was working with, prior to the most recent stuff I've released, I was working with someone from Brazil who I found on YouTube actually. Oh my gosh. And was like, oh my God, I like your beats. Can you like do some stuff for me? And yeah, they did. And now I'm working with RuPaul's producer, Skeletal Kai artist, who is now known as Fred Velvet.
Love it.
Yeah, he produced like Catwalk, like ASMR Lover, like all of like.
Is ASMR Lover new or is it old?
It's new.
Okay, the one that was on this season.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of live for that. Also,
I don't want to say he's RuPaul's producer. He is a producer who works with RuPaul.
Okay.
Because like I feel like saying he's RuPaul producer kind of just like discredits like not discredits, but it's just like that only amounts him as like, oh, he's RuPaul's producer, not like a producer who works with RuPaul.
Right. He's his own thing, his own entity.
But we met on the set of Drag Race when we recorded like Blame It on the Edit, like our Final Four song.
Love it.
And I came in, I was like, can I do like the first thing I asked, I was like, am I able to do like a 4-part harmony? And he was like, duh, yeah.
Wow.
And then after I recorded, I did it in like 2 takes, and he was like, oh, you're from New Jersey? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I'm from New Jersey. And I was like, oh, work. And he was like, we should work together after this.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. And then I messaged him and I was like, hey, I remember what you said. I'd love to work together, and the rest is history.
And he was like, yeah, and he followed up on it. 'Cause so many people say stuff in the moment and like don't follow up on it.
Yeah.
And so you guys, how many songs have you guys done together?
There's been one released, but there's an album in the works.
Oh my God. Oh, when is it going to come out? Is it going to come out this year, next year?
I'm planning for it to come out sometime this year.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
My
oh
debut
my
album.
gosh. That is everything. Are you going to do visuals for all of it? Music videos?
For all of the singles, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm planning on having like 3 singles probably.
I mean, your last one was shot and edited so good. Like, whoever did that
you.
video, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so iconic.
Thank you.
Like, your original music is so good, and I feel like that's so hard for anybody, but I think it's amazing. So you utilize YouTube, because you talk about YouTube a lot. You kind of utilize social media a lot. You're on
Yeah.
Twitter all the time, or X, I guess it is now.
I still call it Twitter.
I call it Twitter too. And I love your tweets are everything. And
Thank
I love
you.
the seriousness that people take them. They get so offended.
Oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, it's a joke.
Your
like,
one with Mistress last night.
I'm like, it's a tweet, everybody, please. We have to like, there's actual things happening in the world. Like, it's a tweet. Like,
Isn't it crazy?
relax.
I know how people really take it. Do people think you are how you are on the show? Do they think you're like a villain in real life, or just like snarky in real life?
Yeah. A lot of people meet me and they're like, oh my God, you're so much nicer than I thought you would be. Or you're so much like quieter than I thought you would be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, when I was on television, but
Right.
I was not that I was like being like fake on the show. It's just, I was just like going in and like being myself. But also
Right.
it's like, if you're catching me like at a club, like I'm there to work.
Oh, I see. You don't do meet and greets. You don't do like
I do meet and greets, but I'm like, it's not as like
Personal.
because there's so many people and like it's such a little amount of time.
Yeah.
So you're kind of just like, hi, bye.
Yeah.
But I try to like be as welcoming as I can. But being on the road and like traveling is very exhausting. So a lot of the time I'm burnt out.
I don't know how people do it. I think I did like one tour for like 6 days.
I remember, and I think you did it in what, 2018 or 2019?
2019. Both. Yeah, I did them both.
And you were in New York, and me and my friend Alexa, who by the way is obsessed with you, and she's going to absolutely scream at the fact that I am even talking about
yeah,
this.
hi Alexa.
Oh, she's gonna die.
Shout
But yeah, we were like, we need to go see Trisha.
Oh my God, did you come?
No, we ended up not going because I think something came up. But we were like, oh my God, like we have to go see Trisha.
It was an exciting show. It was like on the Broadway like street. It wasn't like Broadway, but it was like the address was Broadway, and I was like, oh, I made it. Aw.
She is like such a fan of you.
Oh my God, you should have brought her. Or is she in New Jersey?
She's in New Jersey.
Oh, I was gonna say you should have brought her. I always love when there's people, it's like a little audience and stuff like that.
I was going to, but since I ended up having to travel for like multiple days
Yeah.
at different places, I was just like, it's not worth it.
So are you traveling by yourself?
Yeah.
Your boyfriend's not with you?
No.
Wow. Oh my gosh. How are you doing? Like the club appearance last night, you went by yourself.
Yeah.
You don't bring security or anything?
No.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. I don't think I could go anywhere by myself. Wow. That's amazing. And you're so young. Oh my God, it's just crazy.
I do. It's been a very lonely process.
Oh my gosh. So but you're just constantly busy. Like tonight, are you performing tonight?
No, I'm getting out of drag and I'm probably gonna go like eat or something.
Yeah, that's the best at the end of it. You're squeezing into this. I was like, I can't wait to like get everything off afterwards.
Yeah, like oof. It's not very comfortable.
Yeah, it is, which is crazy because you're like so tiny. I thought maybe it's just because I have so much like
It's
fat.
not even here. It's like from here down. Like from my
right.
waist down, it's like very
Oh, I didn't know about this.
uncomfortable.
I think Sugar and Spice were the first people to tell me about the whole tucking of it all.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know.
My tuck is kind of like like you can like I've done it where it's like comfortable, but it's like sometimes like right now like it does
It's a lot.
It's very tight.
Mine's the same way. I have a thong on and I have a hemorrhoid, so it's just like rubbing against there, and I'm just like, oh, I relate. It's
like
very.
the tucking panties like squeezing like against my tailbone right now.
Oh no!
like-
Are you okay?
Yeah, I think
okay.
I'm fine.
Well, we talk fast. We'll get through it. No, that is wild. I didn't even think about all that part. We were talking. If you're comfortable talking about this, I want to talk about it because I thought it was so interesting. I'm watching season 6 at the same time watching season 16, and we're talking about like the vast differences just in general. But one of the ones, and I get a lot of it because a lot of it was like really controversial and just like shocking, and being woke now is better to be woke. But one of the terms I didn't understand that was being banned is fish.
Mm-hmm.
You're not allowed to say it anymore. And I thought, is it derogatory? Like, what does it mean?
Apparently, you're not able to say it. But there are still people who say it. I feel like, especially you can't really take too much away from people.
That's such a cute term, fish. I'm like Trishy's fishies. Like I'm like that's everything.
Trishy's fishies.
Yeah, I always thought that was
fishy.
so cute. A fishy, you're fishy.
I would like to say that sometimes when I'm in drag, I am fish. But
I think you're fish. I think I'm fish.
I don't think anybody's ever saying it like the way that we're saying it is never in like a derogatory term, like a derogatory way. Like we're never saying like ill, you're fish.
What it comes from
it's
for people
like,
who don't know.
You're fish.
It's from like the odor of a vagina. There's like what they're saying. Which can I be honest? I'm fishy sometimes. Like it does smell like fish sometimes. It's not inaccurate and it's not offensive. I'm proud. I'm proud of my fish scent. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm never saying it in like a way that's like supposed to be derogatory. If anything, I'm saying it because I feel like when I say I'm feeling fish or I look fish, it's because I feel like peak feminine for me.
But yeah, that's like a term where then when you realize where it comes from, it's like not even that offensive. Like to say someone's smelly, is that offensive? Like, oh, you smell. Like that's not offensive.
I think it's like people are taking the negative route to it.
I don't like it because season 6, that even RuPaul, everyone, Santino, everyone's saying, "Oh, fish, fish, fish," and that was like the highest compliment. Like Courtney act like, "Oh, she's fish," you know, and I love that. I'm like, I feel like I'm fish right now.
You are.
I love fish, and I think you're fish too.
Thank you.
I think you can say that. I don't know. I just was shocked. I was shocked that was banned. I was like, that's wild to me. There's like a whole article about it. It's like you can't say it anymore.
Yeah, it's really just like cis straight women. Or like cis, not cis straight women, cis women.
Yeah.
Who
get offended.
Who don't like the term.
So this is what I'm saying. Sometimes it just gets a little nuts, you know?
It's kind of like sometimes like women don't like the word.
Oh, why? I love it. I love saying it.
It's like a derogatory word for like a vagina, I think.
I feel like in Australia it's not. I feel like you could say it and it's like nothing wrong with it. I think it's cute.
But like when I say, I'm never saying, sometimes I will say like she is a, he is a, they are a. But like if something is, it's like sickening.
Yeah, I think the words can change, you know, over time.
Words can have different meanings.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was everything, though. I was like, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, that's so weird that term is taken away. It is weird to see also, too, just like Ru's involvement in the Drag Race now. I think back then he was definitely more into it. I feel like now he's just like, I've done it for 16 years. I'm just like, whatever. How surreal was it? So you watched it as a kid and then to be on it, like, did it meet your expectations?
Oh, it exceeded my expectations.
Wow.
I can't speak for everyone, but I had such an amazing time on Drag Race. It was the highlight of my life. It was an experience that I will never forget. It's something I would never take for granted. I'm so grateful for everything that Drag Race has done for me. Like that experience is like, it was everything and more. I really, really loved it.
I love hearing that because it just looks so fun to watch. I always feel bad when people have like negative experiences with the show because I'm like, it looks fun and lighthearted.
Everybody's experience, I feel like everybody's experience with everything is always going to be different, like depending on the person.
Yeah.
But I was just there to have like a good time. I feel like, yes, my opinion might be skewed based off the fact that I did really well. So I'm sure if you like were not doing as well, you would be like, oh my God, this sucks.
You got eliminated like the first episode or something.
Yeah, then you're like, this is like annoying. But like, even if I could have gone home the first episode, being in that workroom and seeing RuPaul and just saying I was at Drag Race or I was on Drag Race would have been like a win in itself.
Oh, that's so amazing. Are you ready if they call you for All Stars?
I would like to go back and compete. Yeah? I think. Not to necessarily prove anything, but just to experience it again. Yeah. I love being on Drag Race.
Would there be anybody you would be intimidated to compete against?
No.
No, you could go against anyone.
Not even on my season. I walked in, I was like, RuPaul could say she's competing, and I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to be in the top with you, RuPaul.
Wow, really? That's amazing.
I wouldn't have, I would not have auditioned if I did not think I had what it takes to take it home.
That's wild because you are just so young into drag. Like you're just so new into it. So to have all the confidence.
Well, I think it's because I know drag is just, I guess, like I would say that drag is the binder that I keep all of the pages in. It's like drag is like what it is, but all of the separate things that go into into drag, I'm good at. I can sing, I can act, I can dance, I can do makeup, I can sew. I can do all of the pieces that would qualify you to win and do well in the challenges. So I was just like, oh, like if I know how to do all of this stuff already, what can go wrong?
Right. And your body is the most sickening body I've ever seen. In real life, it's like stunning. Like your legs, like everything, your stomach, arms, insane.
I've stopped like padding recently because I've just like my legs, but recently I have not felt like shaving. So
what? Wait, what do you mean? Oh, you stopped padding your legs?
Yeah, like, I pad like my hips and I wear like these are like probably like 3 pairs of tights and a pair of fishnets.
Wait,
and, like,
really?
pads and,
Wait,
like, all
so
of that.
wait, is this padding?
Yeah.
Oh my
It's, like, foam.
gosh. Wait, what?
Yeah.
You look so amazing. What is it like without?
It's just like
Just skinny.
a little more straight.
Oh
Like I don't have like oof. I didn't have the mic by my mouth at all.
What happened?
I have like no hips.
Oh.
That's like the one thing I wish I was blessed with.
The hips?
Is a pair of hips.
I love no hips. I love little hips. Like Britney Spears has like the tiniest
She does
hips.
like her body does kind of go like that, but
Yeah.
I have like big shoulders.
Okay, so you don't like
it goes like whereas like if it just went like this or if it went like I'd be a little better.
You look amazing. Oh my! I would never have known. What do people say? Like your driver, was she like asking questions?
No, I got in and she was like, "Oh my god, you're beautiful."
That's the first thing I said to you.
I was like, "Thank you."
Thank you.
And then I was like, "Okay, get me here."
Is it? Yeah. Do you ever feel? That's the other question. Since you're by yourself, do you ever feel? Not even just being in drag, but I get like being glammed when I go out. I get nervous, just because people hit on you and they're just a little aggressive.
It's typically like if I'm going like home from a night out, no matter how exhausted or like tipsy or drunk I am, I will not go to sleep in an Uber because my biggest fear is getting kidnapped. So
it's like real too.
It's
Yeah.
like real. Like I'm like terrified of being kidnapped.
It's a real thing that happens. I've been abducted as an adult. It definitely happens, especially when I've been drunk and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So.
I'm terrified of it. So like I will like force myself to stay awake.
Oh my God.
Unless I'm with someone else. And like I hate when the Uber driver has their phone not facing for me to be able to see the GPS.
Where you're going.
Because I like to see the GPS, I like to see how long. I like will position myself to sit so I can see their phone. So I can like watch it the entire time.
You need to have someone travel with you just because you are so gorgeous. I think like any sort of like gorgeous girl like just needs to be with someone because you're just more vulnerable. It makes me worried for you because you just look so good.
I think I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But there are some times where I'm like, no, I'm not going here alone.
Yeah. I mean, and then it's safe in LA and whatever, but it's just like, you look so good. The first thing I saw was like, oh my gosh. Plus you just like stand out so much. So
yeah. I like when I was walking down from my hotel, I was like, I can't believe I'm like walking down. Like everybody's going to be like, what the hell is going on?
Are you staying in West Hollywood?
No, I'm staying in Hollywood.
Okay. So you're close. Were you close to Heart last night?
Probably like 15 minutes.
Okay. That club is so cute. I was there not
It
too
is
long
really
ago.
cute.
It's just a fun vibe.
Yeah.
That's Lance's club? Do you know Lance Bass?
I think so.
Yeah, I was like, oh, do you love WeHo or not really? Too much for you, maybe.
I'm not really a big, like, as much as I, like, am in nightlife, I do not like clubs. I do not like clubbing. I don't like...
Like, just going out on your own, you won't go?
Yeah, I'll go to, like, see my friends, but, like, I'm never like, oh, I want to go out.
Really? What do you do for fun?
I stay home and I...
With the mice?
with the mouse and I make little dresses. But no, I kind of just, like... exist? I don't really know. That's a good question. What do I do for fun?
Like, what do you and your boyfriend do? You guys go to movies?
We like go out to eat sometimes. We'll go to the mall. I love going to the mall.
Oh my God. We went to the mall the other day and no one's there. It's like ghost town.
I love shopping.
In New Jersey.
Yeah.
What mall do you go to? Or I guess you don't want to say what mall, but...
Well, no. I go to Garden State Plaza.
Okay, shout out.
Sometimes. Or I'll go to like American Dream. It's like the new mall.
Okay.
It's like, has like an amusement park in it, a water park. Like it's like the largest.
Mall of America.
I think, yeah. I think
Wow.
it's like the 3rd largest mall like in the world or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Or it depends on like what I need.
Yeah.
Or like whether or not I want to like Uber. Like
Yeah.
like far like close
Do you
or
drive
whatever.
in New Jersey?
No, I don't drive. I don't have my license.
You don't drive? Wow, there's so many people lately. Why is that? Just by choice?
I think it's by choice, but also I'm like kind of like driving like gives me anxiety.
Really?
Like I feel like sometimes I get anxiety like in cars because I've been in like a couple like car accidents. So it's like I feel like now I kind of have like PTSD from like being in like a car accident.
Were you young?
No, I feel like every car accident I was in, I was over the age of like 16.
Oh, was it a friend or an Uber driving?
It was always someone I like knew.
Oh no! And you were fine, like nothing.
Yeah, I was never like hurt.
That would traumatize me. That would be so scary. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I will say like car accident is probably like the top like scariest thing.
You have
I've
a lot
ever
of fears.
experienced.
You like meditate or something.
I'm a very like scared person.
I think it's okay to be though. I'm very much that too. I just had to like get it out of my mind because I was constantly scared of being kidnapped or killed or something.
I am like I'll be like walking outside and like a leaf can fall from like the tree and like I'll jump.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm like that. Like we live together, and every time he comes around the corner, I'm like, I always think it's an intruder.
I get scared so easily.
Yeah.
This is why I don't really like haunted houses. But like lately, I've been kind of like trying to like get out of it.
Have you gone to haunted houses like Universal or any of those things where they jump at you?
I went to like Six Flags has like their Fright Fest.
Oh hell no.
I've been to like Fright Fest before.
Never. I've never done that. I could never. That's terrifying because they really do come out and scare you.
Yeah.
Oh, never. Or those mazes that people walk through. I'm like, why?
I like hate stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way. That's so interesting. What's your sign?
I'm a Virgo.
Oh, that's right. You're September. Okay. My daughter's a Virgo. I feel like Virgo is just like the best sign ever.
I think so too.
They're
Michael
just
Jackson
cool.
was a Virgo.
Oh, yeah.
Beyonce's the Virgo.
Oh, okay.
Beyonce is the 4th and I'm the 5th.
Wow. You know so much. Like, it really is crazy, all the knowledge you have. It's insane. I didn't know Michael Jackson. Yeah, I guess he's August 29th, so I guess that he has a new movie coming. Did you see the biopic? His nephew is playing him, Jafar Jackson.
Yeah, apparently it's like it looks really good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really good. I was a huge Michael fan. I still love him so much.
Yeah.
That's would be my drag persona. I think I would want to do like Michael Jackson inspired. I just loved all his like leotards he'd wear, the gold.
I think that Michael Jackson like aesthetically has like one of like the best like show costumes I've ever seen.
So good.
They are so good.
Oh, I love it. I'm just surprised more people don't try to emulate him. I guess Corey Feldman kind of does that. Do you know him?
I've heard the name.
Yeah, he does like Michael Jackson-esque dancing and stuff like that.
Lady Gaga owns a couple of the like Michael Jackson like Thriller jackets.
Really? Like authentic ones? I wonder, I saw the glove and it's kind of beaten up, the original like Billie Jean glove. I feel like it's kind of like not good condition anymore.
She like won them like, and like she like got them from like an auction. She owns like a couple of like the Thriller jackets. Like she owns like a couple of things of like Michael Jackson's clothes. I think same with like Kim Kardashian.
I wouldn't think Kim being a Michael Jackson fan, that's so random.
I think she has it. And I think like North like wore like one of the jackets or something.
I guess I would. What's the point of having something if you're not going to wear it? You know, like Marilyn Monroe pieces or something.
Yeah.
I guess I would wear it. Who's your current hyperfixation?
Probably Lady Gaga.
Just always Lady Gaga.
It's always, Gaga's always going to be the one, especially now because she's like teasing a new album.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Because she's been in like, well, a couple of things. She's been in the studio and then also the new Joker movie. They've been teasers of that.
I'm so excited for this Joker movie.
You are?
I think she's going to win an Oscar.
Wow. So it's definitely divided on the internet about it. Like some people are like, I don't know about this. Is she singing in it? Is it a musical? Okay.
It's not a musical, but there is music.
So she's like a singer or something. She's not like Harley Quinn.
She is Harley Quinn.
Oh, we haven't seen her in it, right? We haven't seen the costume. We've just seen, okay.
We've seen like little like sneak peeks and stuff.
Do you think there's anything Lady Gaga, is there anything you did where it's like, oh, that was a flop? Or are you just like the stand where like everything she does is perfect?
Well, no, I just don't think that she's done anything that I can see the value in everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think she's done anything to me where I was like, this is a flop.
Yeah.
Like even like everybody like hates Joanne because it's like not like pop, like poppy pop music. It's more like folk pop. And they were like, oh, this is a flop. But I was like, it's some of her like best music.
I kind of lived for, I'm not a stan. I like the Joanne era. I love the pink hat. I wore one for a while. I thought it was such a vibe.
I loved it.
Yeah. I used to think House of Gucci too. I think she got some hate for that, but we watched it the other day and I was like, she's kind of good in this.
It was a good movie. It was really long.
Yeah.
But I think she did amazing. I just don't think that the writing was like amazing.
Yeah, it's not her fault. She wasn't the writer on it, you know? Yeah. And Star Was Born, of course, is like...
Oh, Star Was Born. I cried in the movie theater when I watched it. It was so good.
Me too. I didn't care about Lady Gaga either way. Just like not a hater or anything. I just didn't know. And I was like, that movie, I was just like... Wow, it made me cry too. She was so good in it. And she is so pretty and I just love everything about her. She will love you. I feel like one day it'll happen. I think you're such like a manifester. You're such a person that just like makes stuff happen.
It'll happen one day.
Yeah.
I'm certain of it.
She'll come see you on Broadway. I'll come see you on Broadway.
I hope if I ever decide to do it.
Oh my God. I think
not if I ever decide to do it, like I'm like, oh, like they're waiting for me to call. Like like I'd audition. I have no problem like auditioning for something.
Yeah.
Even though earlier I think I said I'd want like an offer. But now I'm thinking about it, I feel like I'd audition.
You would be so good. Or you could be like Roxy in Chicago. They do a lot of stunt casting.
I would love to be in Chicago.
So good. Because I feel like, not right now, I think they have Ariana from Vanderpump Rules, who's not even a singer, and killed the role. But I saw Brandy when she was out here. She was out here for like a year doing Roxy and was so good in it. And I feel like that's your legs, your body, everything would match that vibe.
I feel like I would love to be in Chicago.
Oh my! And they do stunt casting all the time. Okay, I see that for you for sure. Oh, I'll be so excited. I'm excited for. I don't even know Marsha, and I'm excited for her. I was like, wow.
I think it's gonna be like really major,
especially because Cabaret is so iconic, and now that it's coming back to Broadway, and it's the Broadway in New York, right?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so excited. That's going to be so amazing. I don't know. I just feel like all this stuff is everything. One of my favorite, I have the best moments, Luxx best moments. One of this is you on the red carpet. You were recreating Alaska Thunder look. You were holding a can of Bud Light.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this about you so much that you were just like, basically it was when the whole, you tagged Dylan Mulvaney in it, when the whole Bud Light trans controversy was happening, and you're like, I'm gonna go on the red carpet, I'm gonna hold a can of Bud Light. What was your thinking, intention? Did you come up with that? Did someone tell you? Like,
I came up with the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna I knew I wanted to do something that was kind of like a stunt for the red carpet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna wear like how Shia LaBeouf had the bag on his head that said I'm not famous anymore.
Yes.
I was gonna do that.
Love that.
And then I was like, or maybe since I knew that I had lost Drag Race already, I was like, maybe I was like, I'm gonna dress up like Alaska the night that she lost Drag Race.
So good.
Because it's like an iconic moment. And I was just like, I like texted her and I was like, do I have your permission to do this? And she was like, oh my God, of course. And she was holding, I think like a can of Miller Lite or like a bottle of Miller Lite. And I was like, it would be iconic if I did Bud Light.
Oh my
because
gosh.
of everything going on. It's kind of like a fuck you to like Bud Light.
Right.
Or like not Bud Light because they're the good people in the situation, I think.
I think they like they took the ad down or something.
Oh, yeah.
I
So
think.
then,
I don't know.
But to the people who were like
upset
about the Bud Light thing, I was like, I'll hold a can of Bud Light.
Oh my
and I
gosh.
wanted to get it rhinestone, but I came up with the idea too late, and I did.
I love that.
I did not feel like rhinestoning it, so I just put a little chain on it, and it was like my purse for the night.
Did you get backlash for it?
I don't know. I didn't check.
I love it. So you just want, I wonder, because I feel like you are one of those people who can just get away with like anything and everything. But I feel like,
I'm sure people were like, oh, why is Luxx taking her last moment like on Drag Race to be like referencing someone else? But I was like, I think it's meta because everybody was like shitting on me for always referencing people. I was like, let me do like the ultimate reference.
I love it. I don't think there's ever been a time I've never referenced someone. And every single thing I do, I'm like, I reference everybody. Mostly because I don't have my own style, but I just think it's so iconic.
No,
I love
I think
it.
you do. I think
I don't have a style.
Even like with your references, I can identify like Trisha.
Really? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know where she is in there. People are like, who is this person? I'm like, I don't really know. That's why I said I've always identified as like a character, or drag, or persona or something, because I'm just like, I don't really know who I am. But
I think like blonde, pink.
Yeah, which
Like
I kind
pink
of
and
took
blonde.
from everybody. Like
Pink, blonde, glam.
I like that. I think it's a very generic thing that I can do. I was like, okay, this is Anna Nicole, Dolly Parton.
But I love it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I love that what you did, and I thought that was so smart. The Alaska, I didn't know it was her last look. I thought that was so smart. And then the Bud Light thing, I thought it was just beautiful and wonderful because I don't know. I like when people can make a statement too,
Yeah.
Because it was such a stupid controversy, and like so many people spoke out in defense of Dylan and stuff like that too. But it's just like people are just so wild, and
Yeah.
I don't know
just
the politics
know
of
why
it all.
people get so wrapped up in things. Like if I don't like something, my first thought isn't to be like, let me tweet about it. Like I'm just gonna be like, I don't like it.
People just want to get offended by everything, and I feel like it gets so political and stuff like that, which I love. At the end of this drag race, everyone has like the little vote signs and stuff like that. I think it's like, I just like when people can use their platform to like, spread some good and stuff like that. I thought that was a classic Luxx moment. So now that you're done with now that you're touring and stuff like that, and you're going to do your new album, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I don't know.
Just in the moment.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes when you put too many expectations on yourself, it leads to like ultimately disappointment, because if it doesn't work out exactly how I see it, then I'm gonna be like, oh, I failed. Where it's like, if I kind of just have my sights set on little things, where it's like, oh, I'd love to go to the Met Gala or be on the cover of Vogue or do things like that. Ooh. Then it's like those are little victories versus in the next 5 years, if I don't have a house and I'm a millionaire, I flopped,
Oh yeah, I feel like those goals are unrealistic, but I think the Met Gala is such an iconic goal. I feel like you could totally make it there.
I think we could.
Has there ever been a queen that's been on the Met Gala?
Yeah, there is. Violet has been there.
Okay.
Simone has been to the Met Gala, and Aquaria.
Oh my gosh.
And RuPaul, but not in drag.
Oh really? Why not? That's so interesting.
I think it's because it's the Met Gala, you're kind of just sitting there and eating.
Okay.
It's like a dinner. So
yeah.
she's I'm not going to want to sit and drag and eat at this dinner.
But I feel like Met Gala is so uncomfortable for everyone. I feel like no one is comfortable in their outfits.
But also the year that she went, the theme was camp. So I think it's kind of camp that RuPaul went
RuPaul
out of drag to the Met Gala, where everybody would be in drag.
Oh, it's kind of true. I do love Ru. When you saw him in drag for the first time, when she Were you like, oh my gosh, is this real life?
I was like, oh my, she looks perfect. She looks like the way she looks on screen is the way she looked in person.
Just like a doll. I remember the first time I saw Rue. I guess that was the first time I saw drag queen. Do you remember the Brady Bunch movie?
I do.
And she was like the counselor for Jan. And I just remember, and back then I didn't know it was like drag queen or anything like that. And I was just like, oh my gosh. But I just remember in that little role she had, I thought so iconic. I was just like, she's like, and Jan, what did she say? She's like, you better work or something. And then they have the CoverGirl song in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so iconic. I think all of Rue's songs great. I also think that she's so genius because like on the show promotes her own music. You know what I mean? It's like having all the queens just lip sync to her songs. Okay, so Met Gala, that's in the future. I just feel in general, were you modeling before doing drag?
No.
Okay, so that's kind of like new.
Yeah. I would consider myself a model, but I've
Definitely.
only ever done probably like one or two things for print. Before I was on Drag Race, actually, I was featured in Harper's Bazaar, Kazakhstan.
Oh my gosh, where Borat's from?
Yeah,
that's
international. I was like a part of like the cover story.
Wow,
I think it was like the first Harper's Bazaar cover story to like ever feature like a drag queen.
Oh my gosh,
It was weird.
How did that happen?
A friend of mine is a makeup artist and recommended me for it, and it was like me and a bunch of other queens from New York, and we all did it. But it was weird because like I was like a part of the spread, but I was not a part of the cover shot. So like they were doing like a group photo,
right?
And I was like, they were like, oh no, you're gonna be like, we're gonna like shoot you for something different, and I was like, okay, well, we'll see.
What?
And then I like wasn't on the cover, but I have the most pictures like in the spread.
That's so weird. Do you think because it's Kazakhstan? What is it? Kazakhstan?
Kazakhstan
is in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Oh, so but they were all queens though on there. I was gonna say maybe it's because like you're drag, but that's weird. I don't know.
No, they were all queens.
Oh,
it was interesting, but I had
the most photos inside.
Yeah, and then when I took my photo, like my solo shots, I was like, oh my god, am I gonna be on the cover?
Oh, well, that would make more sense. Like, okay, one person's gonna be on the cover, so it was a group shot on the cover, and then
we were like featured throughout like the article, but I was like, I think I was featured like the most. In the article.
And then like, was the photographer? Were they all from there, or did you shot it here?
I shot in New York.
Okay, and the crew was all American and stuff like that.
I think for the most part.
Okay, interesting. I always wondered how that worked because I see people on the cover.
Or they were like not. I don't think they were American, but I don't think they were from Kazakhstan.
Yeah, because I see like Vogue Dubai and like girls I know on the cover of there, and I was like, how did that happen?
Yeah,
like,
no, they shoot them like in America.
Oh, interesting. How fun is that though? I mean, that's before you were on Drag Race. That is so cool. I just think like being on magazines is like such a vibe.
It is. I definitely want to do more of them.
Oh my god, yeah, I feel like you should be on all of them. I feel like there's so many that just like feature people. Oh my god, like Paper Magazine. They're based out of New York. They're super like, I guess maybe they always were, but they're kind of like super gay based now. I feel.
Yeah, they're very queer.
I love it. Okay, queer. That's a good word. Yeah, because I was like
gay. Yeah, gay queer.
Based, gay queer, or Gay Times. I want to be on the cover of Gay Times.
I love Gay Times. I honestly, you could be on the cover of Gay Times. You're kind of like a gay icon.
No, I mean I would love to be. I just love gays. So
no,
I don't
like,
know.
And the gays love you.
I hope so. I feel like I go up and down. Sometimes, we're good. Sometimes
but
we're
I
not.
mean, that's everyone.
Lucy DeLuca definitely is not on my side, but
I'll let her know that you're not.
I know. I want to be. Now I try really hard in every episode to be like, I'm so sorry. I love you. I want to be your friend, but I do. I love like I think Julia Fox was on the cover of Gay Times, and we were talking about her earlier, and I was just like, I don't know. But you are the icon for sure.
I'm a gay icon in the making, I think.
I think you already are. I think at 24, you're already like such an icon. Just again, your references, I just think no one does it like you. And I think that's what makes you iconic. Has there been like, let's see, because you wore Versace, has there ever been like a high fashion, has Rue done Versace or anything like that, modeling?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I don't feel like
Rue has been on the cover of Vogue.
Wow. In drag.
I
Wow.
think 2019.
Oh, wow, recent. Oh, because the show's such a hit. I mean, it wins Emmy after Emmy. What would be your, like, I made it moment as, like, a high fashion model? Like, what would you want to model for, be on the cover of, like?
It would be the cover of Vogue.
Yeah.
Or, like, just to be, like, featured in Vogue. Or I would love to, like, walk in, like, a show.
You've never even done that? I feel like...
I've walked the Marco show.
Okay,
in New York for Fashion Week. I think that's the only, New York Fashion Week show, or Fashion Week show I've ever done.
But you would be open to doing more.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God, and you would be so good.
And I'm like supermodel height. Like out of drag, I'm like 5'9", which is like supermodel height. Like everybody thinks supermodels are like really tall, but that's because they're wearing heels.
Right.
So it's like in heels, they're like 6 foot.
Wow, so you're like the perfect size. And probably the measurements too. You're probably the perfect measurements. You're probably like Kate Moss.
I'm like sample size.
Oh, so amazing. How does that feel?
I don't know. I never really think about it. I mean, when I did just go use the bathroom, I like looked in the mirror and I was like, bitch, you're really kind of snatched.
You are. I literally look at someone like you and I'm just like, how? Like it's really amazing.
But I used to hate being skinny.
What?
Because I was always teased for like being like so like small. Because like I had like cousins who were like younger than me and who were like built. And I was always teased for being like the skinny kid.
Really? And what did you do? Did you try to eat more or something?
I did actually. I went through like a period of time where I would like binge eat to try and gain weight.
Oh my God.
But my metabolism is just so fast. Like I can't gain weight.
Oh
as much as I have tried to gain weight, I just can't.
Oh my! So you just eat whatever you want?
Kinda.
Wow. Do you ever watch what you eat, like dieting?
I try.
Okay.
But for like health things, like not because like I want to like lose weight or anything. I would like to get. Never mind. But
I saw your Delta work one where you were talking about like I just only eat on Tuesdays. I was like, girl.
I would love to.
Tell me.
I would love to like lose like 5 pounds.
So Regina George of you.
So I really want to lose 3 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, no, because like I would love to get. I think right now I'm like what, like 129.
Oh my.
Like I fluctuate between like 129 and 130.
Oh my gosh.
I would love to get back down to 125 or 120.
First of all, I love that you said your weight.
I was 120 pounds when I filmed Drag Race.
Wow.
And I could kind of see it. Which I want to get back to that.
Can I just say, that's like refreshing to hear though, because like I always thought like 100 pounds is what people were, like 100 or lower. Like I thought if you were skinny, you were like 90 pounds.
No, there's a lot of really skinny people who probably weigh more than me.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. I think Michael Jackson too was like 150 and he looks so skinny. And
it's
he was
like the way your like weight like distributes like on your body. It's strange.
I love that you said that because I just feel like on TikTok I see so many people striving to be 100 pounds and I was like, God, I'm a long ways away from that.
100 pounds is an outrageous.
Yeah, for your height too. You're 5'9".
For my height too. It's
yeah.
like 100 pounds is like nothing. I was like 100 pounds when I was in like 9th grade.
Wow. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever was 100 pounds. I think I bypassed it really quick. Maybe out of the womb, straight there.
I used to be like, oh my God, like please just like let me like wake up and like gain some weight, like so people would stop God. Like teasing me about being skinny.
Oh, isn't that wild? I never thought anyone got bullied for that.
But then it's like I say that and people would be like, oh well, like, oh, you're so lucky. Where it's like,
I know,
where it's like body shame like happens to like people of all sizes. Yes, it's more prevalent with like bigger people, but like every like body shaming is just like,
I feel like also with like thin men and stuff like that, they're not like big and stuff. People like body shame them so much, which is like no one really talks about. And you see that so much too, like even like women shaming like men's bodies and stuff like that. I was like, okay, like we don't want that either. Like it's not good. But also being so skinny, like as a kid, like what would happen? So you went to school. Were you bullied in general?
Yeah. It wasn't necessarily like bullying. Well, it wasn't like bullying. I was teased. Like I was never like physically touched or like nobody would ever really say anything. They would just like call me gay. They'd be like, oh, gay, whatever. And they would like kind of like tease me for like being like a straight A student.
For being smart?
Yeah.
What would they say?
They would be like, oh, you're like a teacher's pet or whatever. And like my mom was always like, my parents were always like really like good friends with like all the staff and all the teachers and would like get them like Christmas gifts and stuff. And it's like, they were like, oh, like all he does is like just suck up to everybody. He's like, oh, he's teacher's pet. And I'm just like, I can't help it.
Yeah,
like,
you're like, sorry.
I was like, I can't help that I like pay attention in class. I'm smart. But like, as I like got more in touch with like me as a creative, I very fastly realized that school is doing nothing for me.
Yeah.
It was probably like 4th or 5th grade where I was just like, I'm like over this.
Wow, that young.
Yeah. I was like, I knew from a very early age that this would have no benefit for me. I was like, I know I don't want to go to college to be a doctor.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I know I don't want to be a doctor. I know I don't want to be a teacher or anything like that. I want to be a superstar.
Oh my
so
gosh.
It's like I was like, I want to be like famous and I want to be a celebrity.
Wow.
And I want to like dance and sing and act and like be like a pop star and like all this stuff.
Wow.
And like a fashion designer. And I was just like, I don't need school for any of that.
Yeah.
So I would like focus all of my time like being creative.
Oh my! And how did you see the outlet for you? You're from New Jersey, and you don't have connections in the industry, like right? Your parents weren't in the industry, so it's like, how did you see yourself getting famous?
I don't know, but you
just knew.
I was determined to do it.
Isn't that so interesting?
I was like YouTube. I was like, I don't know if it, like, I grew up in like the age of like the YouTuber, in the age of like social media. So I was like, oh well, like YouTube could be my big break. But I was like, I'm like 6. But then I was like, oh, Justin Bieber like got famous from YouTube, and I was always really jealous of Justin Bieber because we have the same name, and I also wanted to be a pop star, and we were around the same age, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this kid is like living my dream. Like,
wait, was your legal name Justin Bieber?
No, it's Justin.
Oh, oh my God, what a coincidence.
No, not Bieber.
Okay.
But everybody would call, they'd be like, oh, Justin Bieber. Or like, they'd be like, oh, Justin can't read. Or like Justin Time.
Okay, that's cute though. Justin Time's kind of cute. Did you have a swoop? Justin's a cute name. First of all, I didn't know, because I think it's like nowhere on the internet.
No, it's on the internet.
It is, because I looked, for my gate, I was like, maybe I should put like a legal name on there. But you came in with Luxx Noir London.
Yeah.
They didn't call me or anything, so they must have been like, okay.
They were like, what's the name? I was like, Luxx. And they were like, okay. And they were like, can you show me your ID? I was like, I have a picture of it. And they're like, that's fine.
Oh, that's everything. Because I was like Googling to try and put it in. Oh, that's so interesting. First of all, it's an iconic name, because I feel like, especially in the early 2000s. Well, what year were you born? Were you
99.
Oh, okay. Whew, in the 90s. Whenever people say they're like 2010 or something, I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy.
It's wild that there are people who were like born in like 2007.
Yeah, it is wild to me. And it's like
2006 is a crazy year to be born.
Yeah, but people were like the girl in Mean Girl, I think Ivanka, I think she was like 2004 or something.
That's wild.
I know. 1999 is good. If you said 2000, it'd still be like 2000's baby. But that's such a funny thing to make fun of for, especially because Justin Bieber was popping. So why would they? Did you have a swoop in your hair or something?
No, nothing. It was just the name.
And the Justin Time. And the things people make fun of people for is wild to me.
Yeah. And I would say like middle school and high school, the bullying wasn't like as bad as it was in like elementary school. It was just like, I feel like I was being purposely excluded from things.
I think because they probably just saw you had like ambition. Like, you know how some people can just tell someone's gonna like make it? Because I feel like that was like me too. There's nothing to make fun of me for. Like there was, but like they teased me because they just thought, oh, this person's special.
Yeah.
they're gonna be a star.
Like they wouldn't let me like play like the guys like wouldn't like I did not change in the guys' locker room. Like
really?
I like changed in like the bathroom before gym class and changed after.
Wait, why?
I was like did not want to be around those people.
Ah, I hate that so much. Ugh.
Because I just felt like, especially because like I was gay, like I was gay, like girl, there was
knew?
I knew I was like I like guys, but I was like I like didn't want to be in there because I didn't come out until like after high school, but I knew everybody knew I was gay, so I like didn't want it to be like, oh, the gay kid is in the locker room, I have to like whatever. But also I just hated guys, like I hated like high school kids, like ew, like they were so like
I hate high school boys,
like they like roughhousing and like all this, and I'd just be like in like locker room like changing into like gym shorts, like, oh no, I'm not doing that.
Isn't that the worst, is when you like are attracted to guys but you hate them at the same time? Like they're just so awful.
I this is something I ponder with my gays a lot. I'm like, why are we attracted to men but they're like horrible?
I think the same thing.
I like say it like to my boyfriend and like he agrees. He's like, you know, guys are like
it's
like
crazy.
Men are like, especially straight men.
Straight men are awful.
Yeah,
I agree, period. There's nothing else to say about it.
But like no offense, but like
spectrum, I feel like, yeah.
In general consensus, straight men are like kind of horrible people most of the time.
I don't like any of them. Literally, Moses is the only one that I could tolerate, and I didn't tolerate him at the beginning. I was just like, I can't stand you. But I think over time, but most straight men, I'm just like, and all of them, really.
They're kind of insufferable.
Yeah, it's just awful. But then I always think too, like, yeah, but that's what you're attracted to them. It's like, oh, it's so annoying.
It's weird.
I try to like, I consider myself pretty open and stuff like that, but it's like, God, I kept going back to men. I'm like, why is this? Maybe I'm just like self-deprecating or something like that.
Even like sometimes when this is gonna sound so wild, but sometimes I'll like look at a penis and be like, why do I like that?
Oh yeah, like physically it doesn't look that beautiful. I mean, neither does a fish or anything, you know what I mean? But neither one is gorge, but at least like the penis, it's just there's just so much shape and hangingness there, you know?
I'm just like, why? Like, what is it like about this that I'm like, yes, like it's kind of gross.
Yeah, the aesthetic, no. The feeling, yes.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the only thing to it. But high school boys are literally still this day my enemy. Every time I'm at Target, they're the ones like laughing, taking pictures from far away. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like
I hate them, especially now. It's like I'm like very like openly like this. Yeah. I'm not like walking around the streets like in drag, but like the worst time for me to leave my house is between 2:30 and 5 p.m. because that's when everybody's getting out of school, parents are looking at me, kids are looking at me, high schoolers are like, I'm like walking past them and they're like laughing, or they're like, oh,
they
whatever.
laugh so much. I literally, I'm
like, nothing is funny.
No,
life is not funny. No. Why are you laughing?
This is my daily struggle. We live near high school, and there's like a ton of high schoolers. I will not go out after 2:30 p.m. I was like, absolutely not, especially these boys. And they laugh and they mock, and I'm like, they
smell. It's like, it's the worst. Like, I hated high school. I was just like, please get me out of here. Like, just get me to like whatever time I got out, so I can go and do my little after school like music hall, so I could just be like away from like all of this nonsense.
Did you find musical theater people like more accepting?
No, not at my school, because everybody was straight, and everybody was like kind of like competitive and like cutthroat, because it was weird, because they were like kids who were doing the musical because like they kind of had to audition like for a grade, because I went to performing arts school, so you kind of had to like audition, and you would kind of like, if you did not want to do this, you would kind of just hope that you bombed the audition. So it's like you didn't have to be in the show. But there were kids who went to the performing arts school because they didn't want to go to the other schools, because the performing arts school was like the better school, I guess, to go to.
I see.
So there were kids who were not there to want to be a performer. They were just there to be there. But yeah, there were still like kids who were just like annoying assholes.
Musical theater kids too. I consider myself a theater kid, even though I was just like in the ensemble for all of it too. Yeah, they can be a little pretentious, because I was never a great singer, so they would like make fun of me that I like, oh my God, I can't believe she's auditioning. She sucks. And I was like, wait, I thought we're all like in this together and stuff.
I was like the vice president of like the thespian society.
Oh,
like
okay.
I was like a theater kid.
Oh, so you were like up there. You just didn't find them as accepting as you would think.
Yeah, even like some of the teachers, I feel like I felt very underappreciated because I wasn't masculine.
And you said it was mostly straight people in it? Mm-hmm. Interesting. And
I feel like I feel like the people who went to my high school, there was a lot of queer kids. And then as the years kind of went by, like by the time I got to like high school, I was kind of like, me and like probably 4 other people were the only like queer people who were like, I wasn't out, but I was like obviously a queer person.
Yeah.
So it's like there was less and less and less queer representation in the school. And I feel like there was just like a lot of like hyper masculinity, like from not even the theater part, just like other parts of the school where like teachers were like being homophobic, like inadvertently homophobic towards me. Not even like you would expect like a gym teacher, but it would be like guidance counselors and things like that who would like look at me like weird, or like try to like do like weird like male like outreach programs, like, oh, you should like join like the male like leadership thing. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I was like, I have a male leader at home.
Like, my mom and dad are very supportive.
I was like my dad is fully picking me up after school.
Did you tell your parent? Did you tell your dad?
No, I didn't really. I went through a phase where I didn't really like talk to like anyone.
Just because
because I was like, and it wasn't even necessarily them. It was them a little bit, and they'll probably watch this and be like upset at me saying it's whatever. But this is how I remember it, and this is my experience with it. I felt like my parents were not very accepting of me being queer. They were very accepting of, like, they were very nurturing, but when it came to anything flamboyant or queer, they were kind of like, no, they like didn't really love it. So I knew that like society wise, I didn't want to be like the gay kid. So I would like try to like, as much as I could, not give them any reason to like scoff at me being gay or queer. So I kind of just like, went to my room and just did everything in there.
Like in secret.
Because I was like scared. Like it's to the point where like I like it, because like even like stuff like in my family, it's like my family wasn't very like, they would always tease me for being like super feminine and flamboyant, and like tell me like stop like walking with a switch or like holding my wrist like that. Like my dad used to like slap my wrist when I used to like hold like my wrist like limp. I like for a while kind of like, I guess like retreated into my own little zone because I didn't want to do anything that would have anybody like look at me weird. It's even now, it's like now that everybody in my family is super accepting and they like watch Drag Race and they're like my biggest fan, I still find it very hard to be open with them or like talk to them the way I'm like talking to you, who I've like never even met before. Or it's like I like still, I guess, hold that like trauma of feeling like teased by my my family in a way, or like
Yeah.
shunned by society and not wanting to like disappoint my parents or whatever. So I kind of just like, would be like this flamboyant person at school, and then I'd go home and I'd just like go to my room and I'd like watch Drag Race and like watch YouTube and like make little outfits and things like that.
What advice would you give to someone going through that right now? Like a high schooler going through the same thing?
I don't even think I could give like any advice. I feel like it's just kind of something that you have to experience on your own. And I know that I guess the only advice is that it gets better, but like I would be lying if I said that it kind of still doesn't suck sometimes. So it's like it gets better, but it doesn't ever really get great.
It still have a little trauma. I think the difference is now so many, like you said, like strangers like myself just adore you so much. Like people who don't even know you are inspired by you, which is, I think, a good reason to keep going and being yourself, because it is so inspiring just seeing everything that you've done and now hearing your story, the fact that you're able to just be fully out in yourself and then also be the top at it, the best at it, like thriving. I mean, you're touring the country. You're going to Vegas next week. Then you're coming back to LA to do big, like you're just really thriving. I mean, you're really being a superstar in a way that I've never even like measured up to. I've done this for 17 years and I'm just like, I like dream of the life that you're living. It's amazing.
You saying that is so wild because like, I used to like just like watch like you like there was just something about you where I was like, you were so different than like any other like YouTuber for me, because I just felt like it was just like so like raw and like genuine. And like I also just like loved your aesthetic. I thought you were like so gorgeous and like so like funny and like so like different. I was like, everybody's like doing the same thing and you were like in your own lane. And like I really do feel like you kind of like changed the game a little bit.
Wow, that means so much.
Everybody was like doing like, like the challenge videos and like doing like 100 layers of like whatever. And like you were just like sitting on your floor like, these are the bags that I bought and I'm gonna eat and I'm gonna cry. And I was just like, oh my God, like this is so like, this is everything to me. I like loved it. And like you were like someone who I've always like just like admired.
That's so wild to me. I would never think that. That means a lot to hear too, because I still have that I feel imposter syndrome. I'm like, God, I really haven't done anything. When I hear about all the stuff you've accomplished and stuff like that, I was just like, man, I really have not done anything. I've literally just been eating in my car and that's it, and nothing else.
But like you won't even like you don't even understand how much you eating in your car has impacted like so many people.
I mean, it's nice to hear, and it's nice, even like you said, just to hear from one person. And I hope that you feel the same way from people. It's just like the people who come to your shows and support you. I mean, hopefully you can feel it. And at 24, oh my gosh, like
I feel a great sense of imposter syndrome sometimes too, especially after losing Drag Race. It's like I've never really talked about how much me losing Drag Race has negatively impacted my life, because it was like I had never really, I have like not gotten things and like not like achieved things, but like this like winning Drag Race was such a goal of mine like forever. And to kind of just stand on the stage in front of your literal idol and have her tell you like no, like that like really like broke me. And people like throw it in my face sometimes, like I never even had a shot of winning. So it's like, as much as I'm someone who does not care what people have to say, sometimes the things that people say definitely do affect me. And directly after losing, and like this is gonna sound really bitter, but seeing Sasha like be like the winner, I was kind of like, oh, I was so close. And to like at the time have people really like hating me, like it really sucked, like seeing like the polls of like who everybody thought should win and me being in like uncomparably dead last, knowing how hard I worked to get there, how good I did on the competition, and knowing that people just did not like me because they just did not like me. It really sucks.
I think it's like so much like deeper than that even. You know what I mean? I feel like it's not that they didn't like you or didn't think you were a good performer. There's just like something else that they are like, either because you're too pretty, too skinny. You know, like there's not just be that person, like they're jealous or whatever like that. But it kind of is. You saw that with high school too. Like people tease you for being smart. People tease you for, you know what I mean? It's like, people hate on people when they like see something, you know what I mean? You were so young and so confident, and no one's confident. You know, no one's that confident like you were on that show. So I'm sure they saw it and hated it. I think the same. I always think that too. Like people always criticize me for my weight, but I'm like, I think there's just so many people so unhappy with their weight they can't live their best life, and I'm like living my best life even though I'm fat. And I'm like, I think people see that they're like, oh, this person's so skinny, so young, so pretty, just has everything going for them, so they have to like hate on you. You know, like, oh, you never had a chance. You know what I mean? But
yeah, it was a very hard time, and I don't think I've ever fully processed the fact that I didn't win.
Right.
Which is like so like stupid and trivial, but like this is like I was like, it's like you want to win. It's
of course,
like
yeah.
I like don't think the moment I lost, I went backstage and I said, okay, I'm packing my stuff and I'm just gonna go back to my hotel room, and like all my like friends and family like who were at the finale and stuff came up. We were just talking about it, and I was just like, I remember telling them, I was like, I don't know what else I could have done.
Yeah, I don't think they could have done anything else.
I was like, I don't know what else I could have done, and it really haunted me because I was like, I was just trying to think like, what did I do wrong?
I don't think it was anything, and I really do think, not that it's set up, but I think because Sasha Colby was like such a name, like she was kind of set up to win. You know what I mean? Like there was just nothing you could have really done, and I think it's also because you were young, so they're probably like, she's young, so she has just chances, you know what I mean? I think Sasha's just like more, you know, all that stuff like that. That's what I think. I think with all these seasons, it's kind of predetermined a little bit, not rigged, but like predetermined a little bit who's gonna like win.
I don't think so.
You don't think?
No, because you
don't think she was set up to win?
No, I don't. I think that she deserved to win, but I think I deserve to win as well. Yeah. But I guess anybody's gonna think that. But yeah, it took I'm still kind of like healing that I didn't win Drag Race Wound.
You were also so close to it. And I wouldn't even say you didn't win because you're considered top 4. Like that's considered winning, right? There's like, you know, gold, silver, bronze, you know, all stuff like that. So I think it's considered winning. And you and Mistress kind of like tied, right? It's kind of like a tie as like third.
Well, yes. I guess in their scheme of things, but the way I see it is that it would go Sasha first place, me second place, Anitra third place, Mistress fourth place.
Wait, how do you see it that way? Or just in, like, what you think should have happened?
Well, based off of like track record and like challenge wins and like being in the bottom and things like that, I did like superbly well.
That makes sense because you did win the challenges, you did the lip sync battles and won. That's interesting. Yeah. It's weird how it's all set up. Like it should go based on how many like challenges you win and all that stuff like that.
Like I knew like even at the finale, I was like I did perfect.
Yeah.
Like I knew while I was performing, I was like, I am like, I'm gonna win this.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting on the stage and there was only one split moment where the thought of be prepared to lose crossed my mind. But other than that, I was just like, you're about to have to go lip sync against Sasha or Anitra or Mistress. So get ready to lip sync. There was nobody in that room who could tell me that I was not going to be in the top 2 that night. Oh. And it just like, it really like broke my spirit a little bit because I just felt like what could I have done?
Yeah. Again, I just don't think you could have done anything different. And you know you couldn't have done anything different. You said it yourself. It's like you were perfect. You did everything perfect. I don't think you could have done anything. Yeah. It's just how it goes. That's why you need to go back for All Stars.
I think that would be the only like redemption thing I would want is to like win. Like,
you want to go?
I feel like I've done everything on the show that shows why I should win. I've done everything post Drag Race that shows why I am a superstar. I've made such an impact on culture and drag culture.
You really have.
Like for like the second I walked on the screen, it's like I do think that like if I'm not America's Next Drag Superstar, I'm definitely an all-star.
Yeah.
I feel like I have all of the qualities. I've done the work and I've done it in such a short amount of time.
And so young.
Yeah. But also I just want to go back so I can wear nice clothes and see RuPaul.
Yeah.
Because I miss her.
Oh, have you seen her since?
Not since the Emmys.
Oh, that's right. Oh, and that weren't you next to her in like
I was,
How did you get up there?
I kind of just walked.
It was after the win, right? Because that's when they had the Emmy.
Yeah.
And so you're like right there, and I was like, okay, good for you.
It kind of just happened like coincidentally. Like they weren't like placing us. I kind of was just like
pushed it there.
I just kind of just like walked.
That was so iconic, and you really do see the similarities when you're next to each other. Just like everything, the height, the legs, the body.
I love her. She's like one of my favorite people ever. I don't care. I do not care what anybody has to say about that woman, good, bad, or ugly. I can never. There will never be another. Like she's the ultimate for me. It's like there are very few people who I truly, truly admire the way that I admire RuPaul and Lady Gaga. Like, those two people have, like, just impacted my life in ways that I can't even, like, explain.
I mean, they're iconic. I guess that's the best advice to give someone in your position is listen to some Lady Gaga music or watch RuPaul. They really do make you feel self-love. I'll tell you that, you know. Even Ru's songs, again, I didn't watch Drag Race like religiously, but there was one song where it's like, all of the glamour, all of the fame.
Superstar.
Yeah.
People
Gonna
are
love
gonna-
you
as you are.
Gonna love you.
You're a superstar.
I loved it. And I didn't even know, like, I didn't know the whole, like, lore behind it. And I was like, God, his songs really just... They really hit.
Yeah.
And they're really good. And I love that you're right next to him for the Emmys. I thought it was everything.
Yeah,
So
a lot
cute.
of people like to say that I'm like a kiss ass or like I like suck up to RuPaul or whatever. But I don't think I suck up to RuPaul because like I doubt she's like fucking seeing me tweet how gorgeous she is. Like what? Like
But you're just giving props too.
yeah, it's I don't think it's kissing up to someone. I'm giving somebody the respect that they deserve.
I love that because I just think so many people don't love to say who they idolize and stuff like that, 'cause fear of being compared or whatever. And I love that you do that.
Please compare me to RuPaul and please compare me to Lady Gaga and compare me to the greats. Like I implore you to. Please do it. Like I'm begging.
I mean, that's definitely your vibe. That is for sure. Even looking at you now, it's just like, oh wow, just mesmerizing in so many ways. And you transcend the show for sure. I will say that. Like, I think your legacy is way beyond even Drag Race because I watch it. I think a lot of queens just come and go. You just don't remember and like you are just memorable in every single way. And
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what you continue to do. I love seeing you perform and you are a superstar. And if you're on Broadway, I'm going to come see you.
Thank you. If it happens, you'll be the first person who's got a ticket.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I will cry. It'll happen. I mean, it is cool to see all the drag superstars like on like Broadway. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool that it's getting the recognition it deserves and it's getting the mainstream recognition it deserves. And it just inspires so many people to just like be creative because it's art. What this is art too, you know.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. Like I feel like I'm working like 24/7. Not even if I'm physically working.
Oh yeah.
I'm like thinking of the next thing, or I'm thinking about like what I have to do, or like I'm coming up with an outfit, or I'm like trying to do this or trying to do that. It's like it's a lot of work that I don't think a lot of people really take into consideration.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
I think that now people are kind of starting to realize like what all this is.
Yeah. It's just like watching the show gives you a whole new appreciation. We watch it together and it's just like this whole, and then doing it too. I think this is the most effort I ever put in. And I was just like, oh my God, like from 8:00 this morning when we were texting, I was like, to transform into you is just, it's not easy.
It's not easy. I typically take probably like 2.5 hours to get ready.
Wow.
But
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people take like longer, but I feel like now I don't wear like any makeup.
Wait, what?
Like before I used to do like all this like detailed like little intricate like eyeshadow and like all this stuff, and now I'm kind of just like,
this is great. You have a cut crease, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It looks so good.
I'm in like my era of like female illusion, even though I don't think I like necessarily look like a biological woman or whatever that means.
I think you definitely do. I think anybody, that's why I was like worried for your safety. I'm like, anyone on the street is going to be like, damn, this girl, like, you know what I mean? They're going to be all over it.
Thank you.
I feel like too, like when you said, wait, what did you just say? You said you're in female illusion. What's the difference between that and like drag?
So it's like a pageant-y kind of thing where some queens will say that they're a female illusionist because their goal is to look like a woman, and some drag queens, I guess, are like bigger and like gaudier. Where it's like right now, I guess like at the moment my aesthetic is very like ultra high femme. Like I like to look like what my idea of like femininity is. So it's like if I'm painting like a little softer and like I'm not doing like like a whole lot of colors, and like I have like my like natural eyebrows back.
These are natural?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're like filled in and like shaped, but like I typically like I used to shave my eyebrows.
Oh, okay.
And I just grew them back.
Wow. It was hard to get your eyebrow look. I actually have the tape, the strings.
Really?
Yeah. You don't have them?
I taped today, but like.
Oh yeah, they're there. I think if you can see right there, they're right there.
Oh my God, Gagged.
Yeah, I've never taped before, and I was just like, my makeup artist like, you have to, because your eyebrows are so iconic, and I was like, we have to get that look. So it's like tied, like hooked in the back. It's wild. It kind of feels like, I'm like, am I gonna stretch my skin out? I feel like it's gonna like.
If you do it like as I started taping when I filmed Drag Race, and I did not stop until probably this December. So I definitely need to go get some like Morpheus tightening treatments.
Do you think it does? Do you think it stretches your skin out?
It for sure does. But like you'll be fine because like you've only done it like once. But like if
this is the only time I've ever done it.
I was doing it like consistently every time I was in drag.
It's amazing though. It's like an instant facelift.
It's so pussy.
Oh, I kind of love it so much. When we're talking about surgeries and stuff like that, it's kind of like, maybe I need to get this because it really did lift. And I feel like it gave me your brows. I was like, oh, this is kind of everything. We were looking at your inspiration day. I was like, yes, this is.
But I used to shave my brows, so I used to draw them on like really thin and like arched. That's when I wanted to look like a kind of like a villain. But,
I think more like Pam or something.
Or yeah, like very like 90s, like supermodel, like really
Tracy Bingham had them too.
Yeah, really thin brows. But now I'm kind of in like my like thicker like 2016 eyebrow.
I kind of love it. No, I love the whole look today. And you do your own makeup.
I don't think I've ever had anybody do my makeup. I had one person do my makeup one time. That's it.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
I think you have such a specific makeup look too, because we were doing the contour, we were doing the powder, and it's like it's like such a. I think this is the best. I love. Like literally, my husband was just like, "Oh my gosh," she's like, "You look so good, your eyes," and like right away. So it's like I think this is the best I've ever looked.
You
I
do
was
look
like,
really gorgeous.
Thanks. I was feeling myself for sure. I was lip syncing to your song, and so I was like, okay, before you
have
leave,
the nude lip. That's like new lip smoky eye. That's my thing.
Yeah. We were copying the exact photo when we were looking at it, and I was just like, oh, your little hair whips and stuff were so good.
Thank you.
I was scared to do it in my wig. It's pretty secure, but I'm just like, I'm scared to whip it.
The wig looks gorgeous.
Thanks. I was like, give me the exact color, style, everything. It came in the mail literally this morning. Thank God. I was like, I need to get this in.
I love it.
Thank you. I love you, and I think everything about you is amazing. I think you're such a breath of fresh air, and I'm just so excited for everything. I know you have such big plans coming up in the next couple weeks, so good luck with all of it. And thanks for coming out, and thanks for letting me dress like you.
Thank you for having me. Listen, this honestly is like probably the highlight of my year. Like,
stop it.
I'm like so like when like I don't know how many times I have to say it. I was so gagged when I saw that she mentioned me on the podcast, let alone like was like, oh my God, like come. I was like,
when you tweeted us, it's like, I get nervous. I get intimidated as people that have been on like mainstream television. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna want to come all the way out here.
Yes.
Okay.
I would do it a million times. Like, this is so good.
Well, if you go on Broadway, I want to come out there and interview you there, too.
You have to. Oh my God.
I see it for you. I really do. Joseph Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Maybe.
I close my eyes.
Draw back the curtain.
I'd be in the ensemble. That's all I did. I think you're everything. I think you're so great. I can't wait for your album. Just keep doing everything you're doing. And I think your legacy is this. This is you, Luxx Noir London, formerly known as Kitty Noir, right?
Oh my God. Yes. That was like
a deep dive.
You did the deep dive.
Yeah.
That was like my first drag name. And then I changed it like the night of because I saw that there was some like cartoon character that had it. And I was like, no, like if people search it, like they're going to come up before me.
Yeah. Luxx Noir is just
like nothing. Like I'm the only person that comes up when you Google that. It's like if you Google Kitty Noir, like the fucking like cartoon's gonna come up.
It's a great name, but Luxx Noir is where it's at for sure. And you're such an icon. Everyone check out Luxx Noir London everywhere. She's coming to a city near you, or you can find her online, being sassy everywhere and just the body, the legs of our generation. It's just amazing. Thank you for being here. And please come back. Please come back.
Of course.
I'm gonna come see you too.
We can wear like matching outfits again.
Yes. Oh, for sure. You have so many iconic looks. This was just like one of them, but I feel like there's so many more to recreate. So, all right, guys, check her out, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.